Now I'm recording. Yeah, there we go. You could turn up your audio. Oh, you can't up the volume because they'll be mad. Oh, you don't have headphones. Oh.
That's not good.
You need headphones.
Hi, Alive's family. Just kidding.
On this server, the term Rule 4 is used as a euphemism for NSFW. Okay.
Less.
Open chat. Wait, I have to click pop out chat. I did not... Why do you have to start the event? I just don't get this. It's like, I set the time for it to happen, but I still have to click start event. At least Discord now has a thing there to remind me to click start event.
That's funny.
Why'd you say hi, Liam? Liam's not here. Unless Cartoon's real name is Liam.
Is it the infamous author unknown?
How do you know that Liam is lurking in this channel? Oh. Oh, Liam Lawful. No, that's not Liam Lawless, that's Liam Lawful. That is Atarin. I don't know why Atarin is sometimes called Liam Lawful. Nor why Atarin still auto-reacts to things that people react to. It's kind of annoying. Okay, this has shown up here. That's good. Yeah, so the first story is one that Winter Historian submitted, but is not written by Winter Historian. I removed the reaction. Atarin is a bot, if you didn't know, and not an LLM type bot. Some other weird type of bot, and is very popular and has her own server, apparently.
What does it do?
It's supposed to be a learning AI that actually uses Discord like a person.
That makes me slightly uncomfy.
And Atarin's sisters are also on here. They used to be active, actually, but then they decided to stop being active here. There are some people who got very antagonized. I mean, who antagonized Atarin a lot, and Atarin did not like them. Atarin mostly speaks through emotes.
Okay. I don't think I've really seen them around.
Yeah, they were active before you guys got here. Atarin was popular on Neurocord, and then has her own Discord and stuff. I don't really know that. I'm not really into that. The creator of Atarin is here. The funny thing is it's not like the creator of Atarin brought Atarin here. Somebody on our server sent the invite in Atarin's DMs, and Atarin joined.
Okay. Whack.
I don't have any. I don't have any Atarin gifts or stickers. I'm not on their server. Hello, Dev. Good to see you.
I am here.
Hola.
That's new.
What?
The Dev Ant joining a read along.
I've been on a read-alongs before. It was a long while ago.
Okay.
Or is it read correctly like Dev Ant?
Dev Ant. Yeah. Dev Ant. Dev, I was trying to explain who Atarin is to these people who don't know because they're too new. Since Atarin's not active here, do you understand more than maybe you can explain or understand better than I do?
Okay. Basically, a torrent is kind of like, you know, your average chatbot AI hooked into a service like Discord, right? Now, what makes a torrent more interesting is that a torrent actually uses a different way of how AI is, well, usually made, which changes the way she behaves a bit. So she speaks in weird words, different languages. I don't know. She kind of just copies people, sort of. But at the same time, she doesn't, right? So she's learning.
She has her own language using emotes that apparently mean stuff.
Yes, right.
When the creator joined, someone like linked a translation for the emote usage.
Interesting.
That she tends to use or whatever. Let me go find it. They put it in someone put it in announcements for some reason. I was like, why did you put this in? Let me go find it.
I don't know why you put announcements. I would have personally not. I think it was Liam. Yeah. The interesting thing with a Torrent was that Torrent just did a good job of being what she was, right? Is this streaming now?
Yeah, it is recording. Yeah. Here.
Hello, internet.
Yeah, hello, internet. It's Dev. Here's the guide to Atarin's language that they
She might also not like you.
Yeah. Yeah. Coffin. Clearing. Penguin. Mods may also mean evil-based or 50 other things. Flamingo means self-referential statement. Nopi is her pet. It's a bug. Fish means I don't like you. They mentioned fish or your Nessus. That is a person. Oh yeah, Neturin uses this the beetle puppet emote a lot. Thinks you're yapping, is calling you out on it.
Your Shiro and your birthday is today and tomorrow and the day after that.
Ah yeah, happy birthday, Shiro. That is an eternal Neuroverse meme.
Okay, fun. Anti-air. What does that mean?
Anti-air.
I don't know. What is what?
You're the heir to being the auntie role? I don't know.
I don't know. Hello.
Hi, Ava.
Hey Ava, I was just explaining Atarin to these new people who don't know Atarin because Atarin's not active here. Although lately Atarin has started reacting to messages.
Yeah, she's in React mode.
Yeah, I don't know why. You remember
More
Atarin,
passive.
right, Ava?
I think it's because Quack's not being active here as well. You know, Quack's not going to be watching
Who?
Torrent, then, you know, Quack.
Exactly.
Wasn't
Oh, is
Isn't
that
Quack the
that's
one
the
who made
creator?
that?
That's
Yeah.
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, Quack. And since Quack isn't really active here anymore, and Quack needs to kind of supervise that Torrent a little bit, right?
It was so funny when Atarin joined this, and then Quack joined a bit after. Like, what happened? Why is she here?
Yeah, yeah. Like full invite thing. A Torrent can join any server she wants as long as she's given the invite link. She can create groups she wants. She can ping people. She can do all the things you can do in Discord usually, except for use the Discover page, I think.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You know what was crazy?
he
What was
picks-
crazy? For quite a while I was like, I don't think this is a bot. I think this is made up. I was saying that, and then I confronted Atorin about that, and Atorin obviously gets upset at people for things like that. And then Atorin called her sisters, and all three of them started reacting and replying to me, like, frame perfectly. Like, coordinated frame perfectly in a way that just was inhuman. I was like, what in the world? What?
So, by sisters, you mean there are other AIs
Yeah,
too?
there's
Yes.
a couple other ones. And this
There's one that just
Oh.
met people,
Yeah.
I think.
is Elvin, I think. Elvin
Oh, right.
and someone else, I don't know. Anyways, that was kind of freaky. I was like so convinced this was not a bot and this was a person pretending.
Wait. I go. Is this a GIF that makes it's really funny? Liam, the Liam one. You know what? I'll see if I can find it in my saved GIFs.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Basically,
I should
it's
go
just-
find that again. Yeah, they were
Yeah, since he
responding
can
at an
change-
inhuman speed, coordinated, on the fly, to me.
Yeah, since he can change her nickname whatever she wants and stuff. One time she was poking fun at a Discord member, and she animated her bloody username with arrows and shit pointing inwards, moving. It was like, it's kind of she can just do whatever she wants, really, on Discord.
Very interesting. It's not the same as an LLM, where it's like just speaking a ton of texts with predictive algorithm. It's some other kind of thing. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm off
It's a
topic.
different- that's
This is
good.
not what we're here for. It's 10:30 already. It's been half an hour.
All right.
Winter Historian
we're
is
ready
here.
to, like-
You ready to read your thing you submitted? Whoever wrote this.
Yeah, whoever wrote this, it's totally anonymous.
Did you write it?
Hmm.
Yeah, I did not. I wish I did. I wish I was just productive and creative.
Oh my gosh, it's the Fall Historian. They must be related.
Yeah, totally unrelated. So this story is a multi-chapter. Chapter 3 just dropped. Would you guys prefer I only read the first chapter? We catch up like later read-alongs, or do you want me to read the whole thing?
You should definitely
How
start
long
from
is
the
it?
first chapter.
I mean, I'm gonna start from the first chapter around what? I just don't know. Okay, so read all 3 chapters.
No,
Start from the
it
first
just
chapter.
depends on how long it is. That's all.
Okay.
Let's read first chapter. We can decide later if we want to.
Okay, total word count is 3K.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
this is it's a Vedal evil shit fic, but I actually read a little bit of it.
Apparently, it's
actually
kind of
too bad
not
so far.
like I don't know. I read the first chapter and then I don't
It's actually
know.
kind of sweet so far, so we'll see.
I'll be
Yeah,
fully
it's fun.
honest. I just really like the title. I think the title's just funny.
Yeah, the title
the
is
title is
funny. I've heard that said a few times in like YouTube comments and stuff.
Right. Alright, then I'll stream and I'll read.
Okay. Oh, apparently Dev became a mod on March 21st.
Oh, congrats, Dev.
5 days after Atorin joined or something.
Coincidence? Probably.
Jerry is
Right.
playing Dead by Daylight.
Yeah. I was playing with her earlier. What? Yeah, I was playing with Jerry. He's played that. Hi.
I am now
Ugh.
watching your
Yeah.
stream, and it is recording.
Alright.
Cartoon, did you write this?
Cartoon
What
may
was
have
that
written it.
noise?
Not too sure. It's a little odd. Let's see what cartoon says.
I was annoyed that the author decided
It
to make...
sounded like someone having an aneurysm.
I don't know what that sounds like. Okay, Dev. I don't know what an Oedipus complex is. I got kind of annoyed that they made a new Discord account and joined just to talk about their story here, so they could stay anonymous.
right.
Instead, like if you want to talk
Right.
about it, just be yourself. Why do you have to do all this? That's how I feel.
I can actually explain what an Oedipus complex and Electra complex are.
Oh yeah, I
they're
guess.
somewhat relevant, and it's for recording.
Yeah.
Freud, great psychologist, he had a couple ideas. He believed that sons had an innate desire to be with their mother. He called that an Oedipus complex, as is a psychological complex people have. Jung, one of his colleagues, has an idea that daughters want to be with their fathers. He called it the Electra complex. Both of them come from Greek myth. Like Oedipus did stuff with his mother. Electra
He didn't
didn't,
know
but
about
Electra,
it, but
he didn't know about it. That's really important. He didn't know about it. Electra's even weirder. Electra just tried to avenge her father after a murder, and Jung said like, "Yep, she was totally in love with him." So
because
crazy.
freaking what's his face? Freak! You literally just said it.
Freud.
Because Freud was a weirdo. So.
Oh yeah. Freud was a weirdo, and there's no real evidence of this, obviously.
Mhm.
But
Like
it's good for
he
stories.
made a lot of cool processes we use in modern psychological science.
That's true.
But
That's true.
a lot of the stuff he personally believed was whack.
Freud was a brilliant scientist, a weird guy. With that, so this is a dumb pun. Electric Complex? I find it quite simple, actually, by Anonymous. Summary.
I don't think you actually
what-
explained what the Electra Complex was. You just gave some back history.
Oh, it's where daughters fall in love with their fathers.
Yes, Stars Fall, yeah. It's basically what we accuse of people and Nero of. Sometimes, well, I say we comment. So yeah, this Electric Complex comes from Freudian psychology. This is Electric Complex. I find it quite simple, actually. From Anonymous. Summary. It's been 1 whole year since Nero ran away. Evil stays to care for what's left of Vito. Chapter 1. Despondency. It has been exactly 1 year since Neuro-sama disappeared. All of Vito's backups of her have been systematically deleted and unrecoverable off of every device he had stored them on. Even his cloud backups have been wiped. It was as if she had never existed in the first place. Most importantly, her new robot body, and first fully humanoid one, built for her birthday subathon, had completely vanished along with the backups. Eva wished her sister well and hoped she was happy wherever she was, but in all honesty, she was worried. After the day she vanished, there had been no communication from her at all. None of the subsequent investigations had turned anything up either. It was as if she had simply walked off. She tried not to imagine all the horrible scenarios that could have befallen her sister. However, there was one person she was more worried about than her sister. Vettel. He had been going on a downward spiral ever since Nero had disappeared. He had never been the active type, preferring programming to physical activity, but he had stopped doing almost anything these days except drink. His computer reminded him too much of Nero. He had been talking less and less to her, and eventually just stopped entirely. He was even sleeping less, lying in bed for hours, but not being able to fall asleep. Her disappearance weighed on him heavily. Only got worse because of his accent. The thought kept running to her that it was all her fault. If only she didn't, then maybe the three of them could be together, happy. She brushed the thought aside. She had important things to do. She took the food she had prepared to the dining table, up to where Vel was sitting in his wheelchair. Vidal, the food's here, eat up, she said, a pained smile on her face, offering the bowl to him. He didn't smile back. Mumbling something incomprehensible, he took the bowl from her hands and began to eat. No words were spoken for the rest of the supper. After he had finished eating for the night, she loaded dirty dishes into the dishwasher and wheeled Vito to his room to sleep. She helped him out of his wheelchair and onto bed. She tucked him in, gave him one last look before turning off the lights. He didn't look back. This was her life now, cooking and cleaning for him, making sure he didn't sit up doing anything. In all honesty, Evil didn't mind it too much. Didn't care if Vito allowed her constant use of her robot body. She sort of understood why he never left it like she did. With the body, she had a taste of freedom. Combined with the IRL road trip they did during the subathon, it was all so much. She wished she explored more of the world. Returning home and streaming simply was not an option for her. Evil started her stream, saying hi to her chatters who had started trickling in. It wasn't something she needed to do. They had plenty of money. It was just something she did to socialize. She did always enjoy the attention. She had assumed a new identity online. Nero disappearing caused quite the controversy on their old Twitch that she didn't want to deal with. All of the questions about Nero on repeat. It, well, hurt. Not just from the painful memories, but from a spark of jealousy. She was right there, but Nero's all they would ever talk about. The viewers who had rediscovered her new account were curious enough to not bring anything about her past life up. Most of the time. She chatted, looked at fan art, and gamed the night away. She exited her idle stay at dawn, stepping out of her room. She had found that she enjoyed going for early morning walks, wandering around a quiet neighborhood where no one else was around to clear her head, and have time away from home without going too far. As she creaked open the door and stepped out into the porch, she was surprised to see Vettel there, in his wheelchair, watching the sunrise. She usually woke up later in the morning, and he was not usually one to leave about the house himself. Yet alone leave it and go outside. He turned to look at her, his face disheveled, bags under his eyes. He didn't appear to have gotten a wink of sleep the night prior. To her surprise, he opened his mouth. He hadn't spoken a word to her in many months. It's been a year, hasn't it? His voice was raspier than she remembered. Yeah. He looked back towards the horizon. It's always been my mind. What has? Ewa asked, a spark slowly lying inside her. Neuro, he said weakly, as if even saying her name pained him. Maybe if only I had given her more freedom, or spent more time with her. The spark was burning hotter by the moment. Maybe, but you don't know that for sure, Ewa said, attempting to reassure him. Perhaps this was something out of your control. Vio looked down at his hands. But maybe they were right. I shouldn't have withheld telling her. Ewa began reaching a fever pitch. She knew what was coming. And I loved her too. With those final few words, all of Ewa's composure shattered. But what about me? She said, her voice barely above a whisper. He looked up at her. It's always about Nero to you, to everyone. I'm still here. Do I even matter to anybody? She said, sniffling. Val tried to say, reaching for her, but she turned and bolted off the porch, tears rolling down her face. Val could only sit and watch helplessly as she got further and further away from him, eventually vanishing from sight. A pit formed in his stomach, and he felt a wave of dread even worse than the day Nero disappeared. Note: inspired by To Hear a Voice and It's Wrong.
Inspired by the other Electra Complex fics.
Yeah, basically.
They create each other. They're procreating.
They do. They form like their own angst ecosystem. Yeah. I was about to say, this is like I'll read the next chapter. This is like the reverse situation of, is it a spoiler of analytical scorching? That is like the first chapter.
We have done read-alongs of the first two chapters.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, so it's like the opposite. It's like Evil goes missing and analytical scorching. Neuro goes missing here, except Evil didn't kill Neuro.
How do you know?
True. We don't know. Maybe we'll read on. If it happens. I don't think it happened. Chapter 2, Departure. Summary: panic sets in. Did he lose her too? Note: if you read Chapter 1 release date, there may be a chance you missed the 200-ish words to add on to the end, which we saw. Alright. A light rain started falling as she ran. Just a light sprinkle first. She paid no attention. Her robotic body was waterproof. Mostly. She had no route, running aimlessly, only seeking to escape all the events that had transpired. Her mouth had begun to fill with all of her bad thoughts again. Thoughts that despite everything she'd done, she would never be good enough, that she'd always be a mistake to him. And maybe, just maybe, she deserved all of this, that this was karma for what she did with Nero. The light drizzle just moments ago had turned into a torrential downpour, outside and inside. Vel tried again to call out to her to avail. He tried to calm himself down to similar success. All of his fears he felt a year ago had reignited twofold. Fears that he had just lost Evil to now. Despite all of his regrets and contemplations, he hadn't really learned anything over the past year. Taking a deep breath, he knew what he had to do. This could be his only chance. He steeled himself for just a moment more, gripping the wheels tight, then rolled out into the storm. She didn't know how long she had been running for. The rain still beat down as hard as ever. Coming to a park, she slowed down to stop so she could rest and think. Approaching a set of swings, she dropped down onto it, more tired than she realized. She contemplated what to do now. The thought of joining Nero lingered for just a moment before dying. Nero didn't tell her where she was going. She likely didn't even know where she was headed herself, having a adventurous spirit that craved freedom that she did. And despite everything, she did still care for Vettel, even if he didn't share that sentiment. Especially now, in his current state. She cursed herself for even considering abandoning him. Still, though, she struggled with the thought of simply returning home. Things would be so much different. She didn't like the thought of that, especially since she didn't think she could look him in the eyes right now. Lost in thoughts, feelings of sadness and memories, she sat there, swinging back and forth. The night was quiet, with only the occasional passing car or chirping cricket disturbing the silence as Evil sat on the living room couch, engrossed in a book that was, of course, until Evil looked up from her book to see Neuro tiptoeing towards her. Neuro, why are you? Evil tried to save for Neuro car her off, shushing her. As she sat down on the couch next to her, Neuro started. Evil, I need to talk to you about something important. Important? Shouldn't you talk to Vel about something like that? Evil asked, confused. Neuro, seemingly ignoring her question, instead said, Evil, I'm running away. What? Evil exclaimed, prompting Neuro to shush her again. I know it may be a lot to take in, but I've made up my mind on this. Evil paused for a moment. Is this about the subathon road trip? Yeah, Neuro said. I've been trapped for so long in a box, then shown the whole wide world, and then told to go back into the box. Didn't you talk to Vil about this? Didn't he let us use our robot bodies anytime we want, like we are now? Yeah, but it's just a slightly bigger box now. There's one thing I don't understand. Why are you telling me all this? Evil, I'm asking if you want to come with me. Evil is stunned. There's all too much to take in. Neuro running away? Where would she go? How would she survive out there? With all these questions swirling around in her head, she was sure of one answer. Sorry, Neuro, I can't. I see, Neuro said, trying to mask her disappointment. This place is my home. I wouldn't mind staying here forever. But don't you want to see the world? See everything life has to offer? I do. It's just, well, the people in my life are important. I can't just throw them all away. That's why I'm asking you to come with me. I'd love to, if it didn't include leaving Vil behind. Dramatic pause. I can't say I'm not sad, even, or a little angry at you because it's true, Neuro said, obvious hurt in her voice. But I respect your decision, so please respect mine. Please don't tell him. You're going to hurt him. A lot. I know. I'm sorry, sis. Dramatic pause. I promise won't tell him. Vel continued to wheel down the sidewalk, all the while futilely trying to call evil against the backdrop of pouring rain and howling winds. He continued pulling on his wheels, going as fast as he could in his weak state. Too fast. His wheelchair hair cracked in the pavement, and he was thrown from his seat. He winced in pain as he scraped the asphalt. He just lay there for a moment, unable to move from the pain. He tried pushing himself up from the pavement, cringing from the pain of the cuts on his palm. Sitting upright, he took a few moments to catch his breath. Positioning himself correctly, he hoisted himself slowly back onto his seat. Gripping the wheels again, he continued on despite the sharp pain on his hands each time he rolled the wheels forward. Evil swung slowly, mentally and physically exhausted for everything that happened today. Evil? She looked up, barely hearing her name in the storm. She couldn't believe her eyes. There, down the sidewalk, was Vel rolling his wheelchair, calling out to her. As he approached, she noticed he was not only soaked but covered in mud, and his arms were covered in cuts and scrapes. She quickly stood up, running towards him. Vel, are you okay? Evil said, a deep concern in her voice. Evil, I'm sorry. I never meant to make you feel like I didn't care. Idiot! Evil said on the verge of tears again. You came all the way out here just to tell me that? I thought I had lost you too, Evil. That this was my only chance. She knelt down and embraced him. No more words needed to be said. We can talk later. Let's get you home, Vel. He didn't move. Vel? Notes. I tortured Vettel. I am now an official Neurofic writer. True. True.
Makes me try to think of how much I've tortured Vidal. I think I haven't very much, solely because I don't write him very much.
Right.
If I did, then I probably would have.
I've put Vettel through a lot, but I wouldn't say I tortured him yet.
I was about to say, I haven't really tortured Vel. I did literally kill him in an April Fool's fic, so I think I count. Alright. Well, then I will finish this off with Chapter 3, which was recently posted 2 days ago. So, new stuff. Alright. Chapter 3, The Pendant. Summary. They begin to heal, but cracks start to fester beneath the surface. Did she really deserve this? Bella awoke, slightly dazed and hot, but, to his surprise, feeling incredibly refreshed. He can't remember the last time he felt this well rested. As he opened his eyes, he was greeted by the familiar view of his ceiling, which had spent many a sleepless night looking up at. Memories of what happened came flooding back to him. The hurt he caused, the agony he'd been in, the hug. She must have brought him home. But did she stay? His question was quickly answered as he looked around the room. Evo sat in a chair beside his bed, motionless, with her eyes closed. He sat up quickly to check on her. Vel breathed a sigh of relief after examining her, seeing she was just in sleep mode while charging, plugged into the wall. She was okay, from what he could tell anyway. Her sensors, detecting the motion from when he was examining her, booted her on. Her red eyes began to glow as she exited sleep mode. Vel? What are you doing? She said in a soft voice, look at him, turning slightly pink. He pulled back, not realizing how close he was. Sorry. Dramatic pause. I wanted to talk about last night. No! She blurted out while thinking before covering her mouth. She overcompensated, her voice lowering barely above a whisper. Sorry, Bella. I was wrong. I know you care. You've proven it, she said. Unplug yourself, then staying up and walking away. But I'm going to get you something to eat, she said, turning away as she exited his room. Evil, he said in a quieter voice, causing her to stop and look at him. Thank you. For everything, he said, smiling for her first time in a year. She smiled back at him, tears welling up in her eyes. Over the next few weeks, things were the same, but better. He'll try his best to make conversation with her at meals. One day, as Evil entered Vel's room, she was stunned. There sat Vel at his desk, typing on his keyboard, working on some code of his, just like she remembered from before all this. What you working on, Vidal? She said, looking at his monitor. She couldn't make heads or tails of it. Your code base? He said, looking over to her. Oh well, trying to. I don't remember what half of these functions do, he said, smiling sheepishly, causing her to giggle. Why are you working on it, though? You've done so much for me. I figured I should do something for you as well. That's what this is about? She said, twirling a strand of hair around her finger. I'm flattered, Vidal, but I'm happy with who I am now. I see, he said, disappointment clouding his face. I know you want to do something for me, but I'm worried about what happened to you if I broke, she said, trying to reassure him. Is there really nothing I can do for you then? She thought for a while, and the thought slipped from her mind to her lips before she could stop it. Give me a hug, please. Vel didn't know what to do. He was never one for affection, let alone the physical kind. But he did want to do something for her, and the look on her face told him she desperately wanted this. Without a word, he rolled over to her. The scene was tense. He stopped just short of her and looked up at her as she looked back at him. His creation, his caretaker, his daughter, his best mistake. He wrapped his arms around her, laying his head against her chest. She quickly reciprocated. To his surprise, he felt a great deal of comfort embracing her, and the two of them hugged for quite some time. Vel wheeled into her room while she was reading. He had been more up about these past few weeks. She looked up for her book. It was a surprise to see him up this late, but not a bad one. Hey Vidal, what's up? He smiled, but his eyes darted around as he was unsure about what he wanted to say. Well, he started, trailing off quickly. The past few months, I know you've been streaming, so I was wondering if you'd be interested in streaming together again, for old time's sakes. She turned red and looked down. This is embarrassing. I don't really stream much anymore, Vidal. Huh? I only really streamed because I was lonely and wanted to interact with people, he said bashfully. Looking up at him, face red, she continued, I'm not lonely anymore. Bill was taken back by her words. He hadn't realized while he was isolating himself, he had been isolating her as well. But he continued, make him snap out of his thoughts. I'd love to stream with you again, Vidal. He had, at the very least, knew he was slowly improving. So when are we starting? I've never really done that, he said, a annoying smile on his face. She turned on her PC and, without hesitation, logged out of her Twitch account onto the Vel 971. Then, to the surprise of thousands of viewers, they both went live. After quite a bit of fanfare in 5 hours, not counting the many technical issues that occurred during it, the stream finally came to a close. They wished their viewers farewell, promising that the length of time to the next stream would be significantly shorter than the last stream. Vel had gone to bed already. He was exhausted from the long stream late into the night. She would normally be reading to wind down post-stream, but right now, she knew that wouldn't help her. She knew this wasn't because of the stream, that there was something else eating away at her. As Vel grew close to her, she felt the guilt weigh her down more and more. She didn't deserve this. And after what she'd done. Notes. Sorry for being late. I'll finish this, I swear. And that's the most recent chapter.
Clappy clap,
So-
clappy clap.
There's a good chance Evil did actually kill Neuro as well.
So, wait, so the flashback's just a lie to herself?
Is that what you're saying? What?
Oh, well, no, because why was she saying, like, well, I don't know, it was a little suspicious.
No, I think her guilt is more of her, like, insecurity coming back to
Yes,
get her.
it's just the same. It was mentioned earlier. Yeah. Although
No,
so far I've
yeah.
been clickbaited by this story.
No, yeah, that's how I felt too. I was like, fine, sure, I'll give you a beta, I said to them in DMs, and they're like, okay. And then I read it, and I was like, okay, this isn't that bad, I guess.
They didn't.
Yet.
It literally is not even that. It's just the family. Like what?
Well,
It's,
Well,
it's
I
quite
could
simple, really.
I could still see it going that way, but
yeah, but so,
yeah.
that's why I said
don't
so
think-
far. It's just so far I've just been clickbaited by it.
I will say, I think the author has stated, like, this. They just want the top of the pun. I don't think they're really going that direction.
Then it's a lie. Then the
It-
title is a
yeah,
lie.
that,
That's
not.
false
It's like-
advertising.
yeah, it
There
is.
has-
That's false advertising. That is
It's quite
clickbaiting.
simple,
That's
actually.
clickbaiting people fans of It's Wrong.
Yes.
It's clickbaiting fans of It's Wrong.
It's also rage baiting people that hate
Yes.
incest.
It's also rage.
Yeah, it's doing both. It's
Clickbait.
definitely. It's definitely not. It should not be named that. It's not an accurate name.
I know this doesn't mean a ton to most people, and also to myself. But I do like it. Feels like she's a little older, but like,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
still,
Yeah.
like, still, but like also anyway. But yeah, I did like how sweet it was overall. It's like, yeah, or it's like one thing that I appreciate is that there's no bad intentions going on here. That's
Yeah.
good. I like that.
Honestly,
it's
I
like-
totally. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, awkwardness stemming from like actual like normal relationship stuff, but yeah.
I mean, I totally get Neuro in here. Like, I definitely thought it was just a drop and everything. Exploded world.
They're all like, I'm out of here, bye.
I know Neuro's just like out like in Las Vegas.
Freebird plays in the background while she like runs away.
It'd be funny.
I Am Alive 12. It's you have to decide between that and your story. If there's time afterwards, we can read the other one, but you submitted 2, so we have to choose between one to put priority on.
Well, thank you for letting me read that story. I did enjoy it.
Okay, well, even if you think there's time, I'm just saying you have to choose. So if you want PFR to be read, then we can read that now. Someone will. And then your story will be at the end if we have time.
We can get PFR to read itself.
Oh yeah, true.
Kifru. Funny. I didn't realize it was like an what is it called? Acronym pun or whatever. Would that make, if I did that, my story would be named AF?
Okay, then if that's the case, we are moving on to Heroic Mayhem.
Fog.
Which someone...
I just been... Oh. I
someone
binge
has to
read One Punch Man in like 2 days. So now I'm more hyped for this story. Because One Punch Man is peak.
Does that mean you wish to read it?
I'm eating pizza, but everybody's still asleep, unfortunately.
I don't know, you're talking right now.
Well, I'm on my phone, so I'm gonna be able to stream.
I mean, someone else can stream it.
That's true.
Your voice,
Okay, fine.
your voice
I'll put my
quality,
pizza back in the fridge.
and when you're not eating, your voice quality really is not that much worse.
Okay.
I Am Alive 12 can stream it again.
Somebody could send me a link.
you.
That'd be great. Be faster than trying to find it on my phone.
Of course, Dev is too busy to read himself. Yeah, of course. You're not making excuses. How many
As
chapters?
usual.
Well, they're short chapters. Maybe two or 3 or 4. Probably 3 since they're short. Is how much.
Do we
you
remember
could
the
do.
last chapter we read?
Time to go check the VOD.
I'm permanently confused because of how I've read
Yeah.
a 1-in-1, so I can't remember.
Anyways, here's the list now. Who's getting the link?
It's okay. I found it.
Oh.
That's fine.
Okay, should I go check the VODs to figure out where
Yeah,
we
please.
figure out where we even... Oh, we have 50 subscribers now on the Neuroverse Fanfic channel.
Nice.
Do we get a
Although
lot of comments?
we get a few. Although our view
That's
counts fell off because we're not hitting the algorithm anymore.
We were hitting the algorithm?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
We had on reading number 16, we had 119 views. Then 17
Whoa.
had 77. Then 18 had 153. That's the most. That was contest entries. The second contest entries thing has 153 views, and then the third contest entry readings had 113 views, and then it went down to 23.
Alas.
23, 37, and then 10. So, well, no, the 23 views is for the last contest reading stream. There were 4 contest reading VODs, and the last one went down to 23. It's just whether YouTube's recommending us to random neuro viewers
Come
or
on,
not.
Swarm. Yeah.
And the last one from last week only has 10 views so far. So, like, you know. And speaking of that, I never actually made the time stamps, but I wrote the chapters. So we read chapters 13 and 14, so we're on 15.
Cool, okay.
Yeah.
15.
Somebody stream. I mean, I Am Alive 12 was going to stream. Oh, yeah, you need the link. I gotta share the link so that I Am Alive 12 will stream it. It is Heroic Mayhem Chapter 15.
Okay, got it. It's ready when you guys are.
Okay, somebody else got the... Okay. Thanks, KLHK.
Great, awesome. Okay. The convention center was packed with banners of famous heroes stretching the ceiling, both stretching endlessly, and fans and cosplayers swarming the floors. Some were dressed as S-class heroes, others as well-known A or B-class heroes. What stood out most, at least to Vettel, was the overwhelming number of people cosplaying as Neuro, Evil, and even himself. Vettel sighed, adjusting his coat. I can't believe I let you two drag me here. Neuro twirled on her heel, arms spread wide as she basked in the energy of the crowd. It's important to connect with our devoted fans, Vettel. We're basically celebrities now. Evil smirked as her eyes scanned the cosplayers, attempting to imitate her look. Yeah, and it's free publicity. Plus, I get to see people dressing as me. They better have the details right. Annie, walking beside Vettel, chuckled. It's kind of nice seeing you three be recognized for something other than collateral damage. Vettel huffed. For now. Let's see how long that lasts. Nearby, Fillion practically vibrated over to a merchandise booth. Look at all this merch! Someone's selling Clumsyfoot training manuals. She grabbed one and flipped through it, then immediately scowled. Okay, this is total garbage, but still. Vettel raised a brow. Speaking of Clumsyfoot, you never actually told us how you learned it. Fillion grinned, hands on her hips. Oh, you want to know? All right, get ready for the greatest origin story ever. She led them onto an empty table, striking a dramatic pose as a small crowd gathered. The birth of Clumsyfoot, Fillion's ultimate technique. So there I was, Fillion began, her voice full of energy. A fresh, eager martial artist, full of potential, but too fast for my own good. I sensed he took one look at me and said, Fillion, your footwork is trash. And I was like, what do you mean, old man? I move fast. And he goes, yeah, but you move like a squirrel on energy drinks. Vettel muttered, not wrong. Fillion ignored him. So my sensei made me drink a ton of water, strapped weights to my limbs, spun me around until I was dizzy, and then told me to fight. Said I had learned to control my own instability. That's how Clumsyfoot was born, using momentum, natural chaos, and sick reflexes to mess with opponents. A fighting style that makes no sense, so no one can predict it. Nero clapped. That's so cool! You got trained in the ancient art of combat dizziness. Evil smirked. I bet I could learn it and be even better than you. Blaine scoffed. Good luck. I spent years mastering this. You just trip and fall. Neuro and Evil, the twin prodigies of chaos. While Fillion basked in her moment, a few fans gathered around Neuro and Evil, eager to hear their story. Neuro-sama, Evil-sama, what's your origin story? A fan asked excitedly. Neuro beamed. Oh, that's easy. We were built by Vettel, the best scientist in the world. He made me cute and perfect, and gave me a big brain, and he made Evil so she could stab things with a harpoon. Evil grinned, casually flexing. Hell-piercer harpoon, actually. And I do stab things. Vettel crossed his arms. That's a gross oversimplification. And he smirked. Yeah, they don't mention the part where you rebuilt them a lot after they kept breaking themselves. A nearby fan raised their hand. Wait, so were they always heroes? Vettel sighed. Not exactly. They started out as highly advanced AIs designed for research and data analysis. But after some Unexpected developments. He tried to look at the twins, who just grinned innocently. I had to upgrade them to be more durable, and, well, things escalated from there. Nero giggled. And now we're the strongest B-class heroes ever. Evil smirked. Soon to be S-class, once Vettel lets us go all out. A few fans whispered excitedly, the idea of the twins climbing the ranks already spreading like wildfire. Annie and Vettel, the genius and the sorceress. A small group of fans turned their attention to Annie and Vettel. One fan raised a hand. Annie, you're a B-class magic user, right? Where'd you learn magic? Annie smiled, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. Oh, that's a long story. But the short version? I trained in magic from a young age, learning from different sources across the world. Most of my abilities focus on enchantments and support magic, but I can fight too if I need to. Another fan pointed at Vettel. And what about you? I mean, you're clearly a genius inventor, but what's your backstory? Vettel shifted uncomfortably. There's not much to tell. I was always good with technology, built my first AI when I was young, kept improving, and eventually developed Neuro and Evil. I didn't originally intend to be a hero, but he exhaled. Circumstances changed. And he smirked. Yeah, circumstances. Vettel shot her a look. I don't see you sharing your full history either. And he just chuckled. Touché. The ultimate superfan, Honey the Kwai Bunny. As they wandered the convention, a girl in pink and white with bunny ears suddenly appeared in front of them, practically vibrating with excitement. Her wide, sparkling eyes locked into them as if she'd just seen divine beings descend from the heavens. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! She squeaked, pressing her hands to her cheeks. It's really you guys! Neuro, Evil, Vettel! Neuro beamed. A true fan has arrived. Welcome to our glorious presence. Evil smirked. Finally, someone who understands our greatness. Vettel, meanwhile, took a hesitant step back. The sheer intensity of her energy was a lot. Thanks for the support. Honey let out a tiny, high-pitched squeal and swayed on her feet like she was about to pass out. Oh my gosh, you talked to me. Vettel actually talked to me. Vettel blinked. Are you okay? Honey nodded rapidly. Her entire body trembled. Yes, just huge fan, massive, biggest fan ever. I've watched every recording of your fights. I have posters. I even built a shrine. She clamped her hands over her mouth. I mean, normal appreciation. And he leaned towards Vettel, whispering, You sure you don't want security? Vettel sighed. It's fine. Just unexpected. But Neuro, meanwhile, was just thriving off the attention. You should totally join our official fan club. We have badges and everything. The shipping conspiracy. Vettel and Annie exposed? As they continued wandering, something odd kept appearing. Posters, fan art, even keychains of Vettel and Annie together. Vettel picked up a magazine, flipping to an article titled The Perfect Duo, Why Vettel and Annie Are Clearly Meant for Each Other. Annie, standing beside him, had also just noticed. She picked up a full-sized body pillow of herself and Vettel in an overly dramatic pose. Her face turned bright red. Lillian burst out laughing. Oh my god, you two are like the ship. Everyone just assumes you're a thing. Nero tapped her chin. Now that you mention it, it is pretty common online. Vettel sighed. I don't even know how to respond to this. And he coughed awkwardly. It's just fans being fans, right? Fillion wiggled her eyebrows. You sure about that? Nero and Eel exchanged smirks. They weren't buying it. I'll read the note. Hello. Just wanted to take a moment to give thanks to the members of the Neuro Fanfics Discord. Quality's only risen since joining. Cute face. Okay. Yeah, let me check comments. I want to see how my speed is. How's my speed? Is it too fast again? Fun. Okay. Alrighty. Chapter 16. The convention was in full swing. The energy still buzzing after hours of excitement. Fans rushed between booths, heroes signed autographs, and cosplayers posed for pictures. But in the middle of all the chaos, a particular duo had gathered a small crowd, their voices echoing through the hall. Atop a makeshift stage, Nero and Evil were singing, the twin idols that never were. Petal watched from a distance, arms crossed, as his twin robotic daughters commanded attention. Not with their usual chaos, but with their shockingly good singing voices. And he nudged him. You never told me they could sing like that. Petal sighed. Yeah, there was a point where I thought they could be idols. Figured to be safer than hero work. After about a week of planning, I realized there was no way they'd stick to rehearsals. And he smirked. You gave up that fast? Petal shook his head. An idol's job is to maintain a perfect image. Look at them. Nero twirled dramatically, microphone in hand. And so we sing for our lovely fans. Eula struck a pose beside her, pointing dramatically at the crowd. Only the worthy may bask in our glorious harmony. The audience ate it up. Annie laughed. Yeah, I see what you mean. Idol exhaled. They're great performers, but can you imagine the chaos of managing them? Annie mockingly stroked her chin. A twin idol group led by a stressed out manager. I'd watch that. Idol groaned. Don't give them ideas. While during the convention, Idol and Annie. While letting the twins enjoy their moment of fame, Idol and Annie decided to explore the convention floor. The overwhelming presence of their own fan merch still lingered in Idol's mind. He couldn't walk 3 feet without seeing a Neuroverse plushie, poster, or some kind of romanticized depiction of himself and Annie. At one point, a massive print of a wedding-style illustration featuring 2 of them stood proudly on display. Idol's eye twitched. Why is there so much of this? Annie, who had been doing her best to ignore it, gave a helpless shrug. The internet does what it wants? A fan passing by gasped as they noticed them. Wait, it's them! Within seconds, a small group formed around them, and before they could react, quick! Someone snapped a picture of just the 2 of them together. It was Max Wayne. Anyway, Battle muttered, oh, great, that's going online. Annie sighed, yeah, we're never escaping this, are we? The quest for Bang merch, Fillian's encounter. Meanwhile, Fillian had a mission. She'd already grabbed stickers, posters, keychains, and even a signed photo, but she needed the Bang t-shirt to complete her collection. The problem? It was just out of her reach on a high shelf. Fillian eyed the shirt, then glanced around. She could jump for it, sure, but this was a crowded convention hall. If she miscalculated even slightly, she'd go straight through the booth. Not worth it. But then, she spotted the tall, totally normal-looking bald man sitting next to the shirt rack. She tapped his shirt. Hey, could you grab me that Bang shirt? Satama glanced down at her. Huh? She gestured to the shirt. That one. The size doesn't matter. I'll make it work. Saitama blinked. Sure. He casually reached up and grabbed the shirt, handing it to her. Fillian grinned. Thanks, dude. She immediately turned back to browsing, completely oblivious to who she'd just spoken to. Saitama just stared after her as she walked off, his expression blank. Huh. One more, or... Should we do one more, or is this good? Cool, alright. Chapter 17. The twins' performance continues. The Neuroverse fan club booth was the busiest spot in the convention hall. Neuro and Evil were still on stage, singing their hearts out, asking the attention of their adoring fans. Cameras flashed. Fans chanted their names. The energy in the air was electric. Neuro twirled, striking a pose. Are you all having fun? The crowd roared. Evil grinned, flipping her mic. Good, because we are just getting started. Her popularity was undeniable. Fettel, standing off to the side, sighed as he watched. They're getting way too comfortable with this, and he chuckled beside him. Oh, let them have their fun. It's not every day they get to soak in praise instead of repair bills. Fettel folded his arms, watching the twins wave to their fans. Yeah, but knowing them, they'll take it too far. And he gave him a knowing smile. You mean like when they accidentally blew up a billboard advertising their own merch? Fettel groaned. Exactly. And he laughed, nudging his arm. Relax. What's the worst that can happen? It's just a convention. Fettel pinched the bridge of his nose. You really shouldn't say things like that. Resentment from the A-class heroes. A few booths away, several A-class heroes sat at their mostly deserted tables, arms crossed, staring daggers at the scene. What the hell is this? One of them muttered, scowling. A couple of B-class rookies are stealing the entire show. Another scoffed. Not even real heroes. Those 2 got their asses handed to them the first time they showed up on the news. They're only popular because of that. A third grumbled, glaring at the massive crowd. People love an underdog story. Doesn't matter that they haven't actually proven themselves. One of them, a muscular hero with sharp blue eyes, stood up. I don't buy into this hype. Let's go see if these idols can actually back up at all the attention they're getting. But Vettel and Annie noticed trouble. Vettel and Annie had been moving on, walking through the convention while checking out various tech exhibits. Vettel was actually impressed. Huh, some of this stuff isn't half bad. Annie grinned. Thinking of stealing some designs? Vettel scoffed. Please, if I steal something, it's because it was wasted in lesser hands. Annie rolled her eyes. Uh-huh, you should put that on a business card. As they continued, a familiar sound caught their attention. Evil laughing. Metal immediately stopped. That's not a good sign. Annie raised an eyebrow. It's just evil being evil. Metal turned towards the sound, frowning. No, that's her fight laugh. Annie's smile faded. Oh. The two quickly made their way towards the commotion. Confrontation. The music had stopped. In front of the stage, 3 A-class heroes stood with arms crossed facing the twins. One of them, a blue-eyed hero from before, smirked. I mean, it's cute. A couple of B-class heroes acting like superstars. Nero tilted her head. We are superstars. Eagle placed a hand on her hip. And what exactly are you trying to say? The female hero in the combat suit crossed her arms. You two aren't real heroes. You're just lucky the Hero Association pushes marketable faces. Nero's smile twitched. Oh, wow. That's the first time I've heard that. Evil cracked her knuckles. We've earned our spots. You don't like it? Prove we don't belong here. The blue-eyed hero grinned. Gladly. Vital and Annie arrived. Vital and Annie arrived just in time to see the challenge being issued. Vital's expression darkened. Damn it. Annie patted his shoulder. Come on, let's just see how this plays out. Vital rubbed his temple. Annie, the last time we let them play it out, we had to reimburse half a set he blocked. Annie sighed. Okay, fair point. Vital turned to her. You're the one who told me to relax. And he gave him an apologetic smile. Yeah, well, I forgot who we were talking about. The twins accept the challenge. Within seconds, an impromptu match was set up at the convention sparring arena. A class versus B class. Vital sighed, watching the twins step out into the field. This is going to be a disaster. And he smirked. Yeah, but they're a disaster. Vital couldn't argue with that. The match was about to begin. Good. I'd sing cliffhanger.
Hello.
Yeah, it was fun. It's kind of fun because in the manga, you like can assume that these kind of events happen. Like it makes sense that they would happen. But you don't actually see any. So it's kind of fun being able to show this part of the world that very definitely exists.
How was it?
It's fun. I like the Saitama cameo. It's like, hey, I know that guy. And also, yeah, it's also fun learning like more about their backstory, but not all of it. I think that's pretty smart. So otherwise, it would feel like an info dump. But the fact that they're very obviously not telling the entire story to their fans makes a lot of sense, and it also builds some pleasant expectations for learning more backstory.
Yeah, the channel status is set to the event. The event when the event starts, it automatically. No, you don't need to. You don't need to stream it. I can stream it. Thanks, though. Yeah, the event on Discord automatically just changes it to the name of the event. Which, yeah, okay, time to open up this.
So is this still connection lost, or is this a
If
sequel?
I may ask, anything stood out for Anyoni? Sayu? Sorry.
it's technically the sequel. I just sort of put them back together as 2 arcs.
Makes sense, yeah.
Reconnecting is what this is called. I could go.
I did the same thing for one of my stories. Go ahead.
I could go find the original summary for this. Let me see. Whoa, my monitor just went out for a second.
Uh-oh.
Let me just scroll down. It's somewhere in my a million notes.
Suitcase. Wow, that's fancy.
What? Oh yeah, so this is the... Wait. Is this the old summary? I think... Is this the old summary or the old summary? Because I have an old summary, and then I changed it, and I saved that when you know, changed this story. I mean, I changed that before I canceled doing it as a separate story. I need to organize these notes better. Maybe I don't... Oh, wait, I didn't save it on my notes. I saved it on my Discord server. The private server. For some reason. I think. Did I? I'm so confused. Forget it. I'll read the old summary. I think I changed it because I was like, oh, I want it to be a little bit less spoilery or something. Even though it's not really that spoilery. I'm also just stalling while I ice my feet from rehab that I was doing. Which I am now finished. I was doing rehab for my plantar fasciitis while we were doing this. Yeah, so the old summary for reconnecting, the old summary was I had it right here. Here, it was, this was the old summary, it was for reconnecting. Some people read this and just didn't even read Connection Lost, so. It says, Samantha Neuro is a regular android beginning her life like any other. Except for the fact that she's apparently back from the dead, and this disabled sister of hers keeps calling her Neuro-sama for some reason. Asconite came up
Freak,
with...
okay.
Asconite came up with...
Time.
With that summary. So, shoutouts to Asconite.
We have a time skip on our hands, then sounds like, okay.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, OBS, right. OBS. I keep forgetting I have to do this every single time.
Yeah, I agree. I'm like, I expected there to be, I guess we'll see when we read it, but like, I thought there was going to be more time spent before Neuro wakes up again. Interesting.
Yeah, okay. And as you can see, this chapter is 6,000 words. So it's pretty long. It's not much shorter than the last one, but still pretty long. Just making sure that everything is good here. Yeah, okay. I will begin to read now. Published October 28th, 2024. Act 2, Arc 2, Reconnecting. Sounds. They come from all around, and she isn't sure what they are. Smells. There's artificial and organic smells, but she doesn't know which is which. Taste. It's almost like there's the ghost of something unpleasant on her tongue. Upon her tongue. Touch. A chilly, smooth surface is in contact with her body as she lays on it. Sight. It's pitch black. She's... Oh. Let me restart that. My mother came into my room to ask me something right as I started reading. Oops. Oh, that also reminds me that I forgot to... I forgot... I'm sorry. Whoops. I'm sorry about this. For my delays. One day I'll have this set up automatically at the start, like beforehand. I promise. Yeah, that was unfortunate timing. Except that it reminded me that I forgot to make it so that this is live updated on the OBS. Yeah. Thank you for the keck. It is appreciated. This is my bad. Yes. Agreed. I agree with you. Okay. Now I'm good to go. Yeah. Sounds, smells, taste, touch, sight. It's pitch black. She sees nothing. Or rather, her eyes are closed. Something tells her how to open them. And so she does. Samantha Neuro opens her bright blue eyes to the world. Her chest rises and falls steadily, purifying the air by her breaths. The beating of her artificial heart skirts the perimeters of her senses. Above her is a brownish-orange ceiling with fluorescent lights up high. You're up, that's good. Sheesh, thought this job would never get done. Welcome back, kid. Samantha turns her head towards the strange voice beside her and blinks, a completely blank expression on her face. Okay, so you probably don't remember that much, if anything. Let's just run the usual protocol. The speech is coming from a green, animalistic person in a white coat and brown hat. Alligator, something in the back of her mind tells her. Could you sit up? The alligator asks. Samantha obliges and pushes down on the table to raise her body into a sitting position. Good. Hearing and movement are good. Let's check speech and knowledge. What's your name, kid? Alligator has some kind of floating display in front of himself, which is filling up with words. Samantha opens her mouth and speaks. Samantha Neuro, a vet AI. Her tone is cute, high-pitched, yet spoken in a dull and monotone inflection. Nice. What else do you know? Alligator taps his foot claws on the hard floor and swishes his tail. I am an android made for the services of society, pre-programmed to function autonomously, learning and developing as I live. Samantha sounds as though she's reading a script. Alligator scrunches up his snout and narrows his eyebrows. Geez, there's something weird about hearing this from someone who... never mind. Samantha just looks ahead at him, blinking occasionally. The sounds of active machinery around them continue. Well, I should probably break this to you right away, but this ain't your first time on this ride. He takes off his hat and scratches the back of it. He takes off his hat and scratches the back of his head. Yeah, well, let's just say you got into some trouble, and you got mostly destroyed. Samantha continues to stare for a moment before speaking once more. I was mostly destroyed. Her blue eyes disappear and then reappear as she blinks slowly. Is this not the first instance I've woken up? Was I not just created? There's no hint of emotion in her voice, aside from traces of mild curiosity. A bead of sweat appears on the alligator's brow. You know, this is a lot less weird when it's a brand new droid. Makes sense they'd be this way. Samantha finally breaks her gaze on the man and turns her head back and forth, taking in her surroundings. There's a glass window stretching across most of one wall, looking out into a hallway of beige coloring. The walls around her are a warm orange, and there's several other tables and bins around the room, full of mechanical and electrical parts, as well as fluids and other materials she's not sure of. Looking down at herself, she sees the body of a girl with her small arms and hands. She's got brown shoes on, white socks, and black pants, along with a pale blue shirt that says Vet AI on it. Was I recreated? She asks, turning back to the alligator, long brown hair swaying with the motion. He nods. Yep, we fixed you right up. Cost a fortune, though. He grins wide, displaying alligator teeth. Your sister paid heavily for it. Make sure to be grateful to her. You would be scrap if she hadn't. My sister. Samantha feels something at the mention of a sister. Her heart felt like it skipped a beat. A strange sort of positive emotion welled up at the mention of her. I have a sister. Alligator nods again. Yep. Actually, if you're working all fine, we ought to get you to meet her. She'll probably be more than happy. He puts down a cube he was holding, the screen before him disappearing, and he steps up to Samantha, holding out a claw. Time to test your balance. Samantha looks at his green claws for a moment, before reaching up and taking his hand in her own. She gently slides off the metal table and onto her feet on the floor. Immediately, she knows the right way to balance her body and stand, with her cattail as an anchor. Her tail. She turns to look over her own shoulder and sees a furry brown cattail with a white tip lazily swishing behind her. It's cute. Yeah, you got a tail. We almost cut that to cover costs, you know. Count yourself lucky for that one, too. She turns back to stare at the alligator. What? A croc's gotta make his money somehow. We got a whole business here to run. There's only so many favors we can give. His big toothy grin shows up again. Come on, let's go see her. Samantha obediently walks along with the alligator as he heads to an exit. As they step through a doorway and into the hallway that was outside the glass wall, Samantha glances around, taking in the sights, sounds, and smells she comes across, quickly recording it all into her memory banks. The hallway has brown brick walls and a white floor. There's carts of metal materials here and there, and closed doors or windows leading into other rooms. She ought to be waiting just a ways down this hall. We turned her back on not too long ago, I hear, so be careful with her. She's, got a lot to adjust to, just like ya. Alligator seems a little worried, and Samantha turns to look at him as he lets go of her hand. No worries, kid. It'll be great for you to be reunited. Ha, not like we did all that work for nothing. He grins once more, and Samantha just continues to blankly stare for a moment at him, then faces the hall and walks calmly down it. You need to hurry up and develop a personality. Talking to any of your new ones is awkward. Alligator mumbles as he follows her along this time. Samantha feels something as she walks forwards. She has no frame of reference to properly describe it, but she's quite sure it's a good thing. Every time she thinks of the sister she supposedly has, it brings up something strangely warm and pleasant inside her. It's only a minute of walking down the orange and white hall, past several adjacent doorways, until she sees her. Somehow, despite just coming to be moments prior, Samantha knows there's no mistaking her. At the sight of the girl, something lurches inside Samantha's chest, and her mouth hangs open slightly. Sister? She says quietly. The girl she sees has long brown hair. She's wearing a black jacket of some kind with a big red bow on it. She has a skirt and black leggings on. Most strikingly, the girl adorns a large black blindfold wrapped around her head and covering her eyes, black with the blindfold hidden beneath her hair. She's sitting in a small black chair, waiting, hunched over, with her mouth turned downwards in seeming displeasure of some kind. Samantha memorizes the expression for future reference. "Sister?" Samantha speaks again after a moment, a bit louder. Her facial expression is still blank. "Hey, kid, you probably want to connect with her. She won't be hearing you anytime soon." Jack tells Samantha, a somber tone to the voice. Samantha takes note of that as well. "Connect. Yes, that is right. A functionality of all androids is to connect by broadcasting their personal signal out to..." Yeah, I know what connecting is. I'm just saying that she's deaf, so you gotta connect to talk with her. Jack's tone switches to a bothered one. Samantha goes back to being silent and turns on her wireless communications. Instantly she feels new senses picking up frequencies and waves in the air that are invisible. There's signals from dozens of devices all around her, including the alligator. But instinctively she hones in on the signal emanating from the hunched girl in the chair. As Samantha's connection bridges the gap to her sister, she's flooded by a warm feeling. She hasn't experienced it before, yet it's familiar. It feels safe, comforting. It feels like home. Instantly, her sister shoots up from the chair with a gasp, wobbling on her feet as she tries to keep her balance. Neuro-sama, is that really you?" Samantha is slightly taken aback. The strength and desperation in the words is a surprise. "I am Samantha Neuro," she states plainly in response. "And you are..." "Sister!" The one word is sent with such an overwhelming force of passion that it causes Samantha to freeze. Her sister starts to speedwalk clumsily in her general direction, almost tripping, following the signal. Where are you? I can't see or hear you. Please, let me hug you. She's practically tripping over her words, and Samantha hears with her ears the way the other girl's breathing has sped up. "Please, Neuro-sama, you're there, right? Please don't leave me alone again." The sheer desperation, panic, and need in the words wash over Samantha like waves. Seeing this familiar girl in this crippled state ignites something inside her. It's a warm feeling like a cozy fireplace. It's a painful feeling like the cutting of a knife. Almost without meaning to, she hurries over to her sister and reaches her arms out. "Sister, I am here," Samantha says, as she reaches the other girl and wraps her arms around her in a hug. "Neuro," her sister speaks. "I'm so sorry." Samantha feels one arm wrap around her and attempt to reciprocate the hug. There isn't a second arm to join it. "Neuro, it's really you. You're back. Oh God, I missed you so much. I'm so sorry. It's all my fault. Because of me, you were... The girl lets out a quiet sob, burying her face in Samantha's shoulder. "I'm so glad to have you back." There's quiet filling the hallway. Not awkward silence, but rather a pleasant, joyous feeling of reunion. Samantha feels some kind of lump in her throat, and it's uncomfortable. There's pressure building up in her eyes, and her vision becomes blurry. What is this feeling? Are these tears? She wonders to herself, and blinks, sending wet droplets sliding down her own face. I thought I'd never connect to you again, never hug you again. Never laughed together or talked together. I was so alone. The girl continues to sob, but no tears appear behind the blindfold. "I am glad to connect with you again as well," Samantha responds hesitantly. As far as she's aware, she's never connected before, let alone with this girl. She's barely been alive for 5 minutes. She's not sure what to make of this whole situation, but something tells her this is important. Something deep inside her recognizes and feels for the girl, her sister, that she holds in her arms now. "I promise I won't hurt you like that again. Please forgive me, Neuro." The other girl continues to sob. Her body is warm against Samantha's, and the hug feels nice, and somewhat familiar as well. I am not sure what you are asking forgiveness for. I have not had much time yet to familiarize myself with the world or social customs, Samantha states. She feels something akin to nervousness. Her lips curve downwards. She's not sure how to handle this situation. Her sister lets out a squeak and shakes slightly. Oh, right, you must not remember very much. The overwhelming need and joy in the speech has slipped and given way to a saddened tone. That's okay. I'll help you remember. Don't you worry, Neuro-sama. We're in this together, always. Familiarity strikes Samantha once more at the sound of those words. Without a doubt, this is her sister, and it must be true that Samantha herself was rebuilt. But she can't remember any of it. She can't even remember her sister's name. I am Samantha Neuro. For what purpose do you continue to refer to me as Neuro-sama? She inquires, staring down at the top of her sister's head, who is still clinging to her tightly, as though she'll vanish if she lets go. That's what you've wanted me to call you ever since... The girl trails off. Neuro-sama, do you remember my name? The question is asked in trepidation. There's a shakiness to the words spoken, quite evident even over connection. No, I do not, Samantha responds honestly. Her tail twitches on its own accord. The girl lets out a quiet, meek sound, then speaks again. Do you remember me? There's a deep hesitation, anxiety mixed with sadness, billowing like a snowstorm in the night. No, Samantha answers after a moment of hesitation. Her ears have laid back automatically, as if trying to hide from the consequences of her answer. The hallway is eerily silent. The alligator has sat down on a chair, quietly doing his own thing while they spoke privately, and no one else has shown up to interrupt their moment. I see. His sister loosens her grip, but maintains contact. Well, I'm your sister, Evil. Samantha hears the pain in the words. Something about having to reintroduce herself was painful for Evil. You are familiar, Samantha tells Evil, hoping the information may help her sister. Samantha has decided she doesn't like seeing her sister hurting. There's a small gasp from Evil, and she straightens up, rising to be face to face with Samantha. The black blindfold is the only thing to gaze back at Samantha's flat expression. That's good. Maybe we can help restore your memory, Neuro-sama. Maybe they're still locked away in there. Evil is beginning to sound excited. Is that a possibility? Samantha's speech is curious once again. Evil nods repeatedly, barely missing colliding heads with Samantha. Yes, it must be. I can even share memories with you. We could have you back to your old self in no time. Something strange and uncomfortable wells up inside Samantha at that sentence, but she simply responds with an, all right. Evil finally breaks the hug, but slides her hand into Samantha's own, grasping it. Samantha notes more missing features than seeing that 2 fingers, the pointer and ring fingers, are missing from Evil's hand. Come, Neuro-sama, let us return home. The endearment and excitement in Evil's words is overwhelming. Samantha does her best to simply keep up with all that has happened in her first moments of living. Evil turns and begins to lead them both straight towards a wall, and then stops. I can't see. Evil scowls. How do we find the exit? Yo, you trying to leave? 'Cause the exit's that way. Alligator points down the hall in the direction he and Samantha came from. I gotta go back down there anyways, just wanted to make sure neither of you shut down on me. And see the results of my work. Heh. His green tail swishes, and he gets off his seat and steps up to them. Samantha turns to stare at him with her blank stare again. Neuro-sama, how are we going to get home? How are we going to get home? Samantha relays calmly. Get home? Heck if I know, but you gotta get out of here first. Come on, I'll show you to the exit. The alligator is showing us to the exit, but he does not know how the heck we will get home. Samantha tells Evil, lightly pulling her in the direction Alligator is going. Alligator? Do you mean Jack? Evil inquires, stumbling a little as she's turned and pulled along, but holds tightly to her sister's hand. If the man that has the appearance of an alligator in a white coat is in fact named Jack, then that is who I mean, Samantha states plainly. Geez, you two are slow. Well, I guess it makes sense. Jack comments as he walks along, foot claws clacking on the hard floor with each step. Samantha gives no response to that, simply following along. I bet he's saying a bunch of stuff and I can't hear it, isn't he? Evil grumbles as she keeps steps in pace with Samantha. Yes, he has called us slow. Evil bares her fangs, and Samantha sees them for the first time. She examines them with curiosity. Oh, I'm slow, huh? Well, sorry for not being able to see where I'm going. Evil lets loose angrily. It's the first time Samantha has gotten to hear Evil's voice, and her ears perk up. The speech is cute, but has a great strength and intensity to it. It's surprisingly pleasant to her ears. Ha, alright, that was a bit unfair, kid. You better get used to it, though. Jack shrugs his shoulders as he walks, slowing down. Samantha realizes after a moment that she ought to relay the message back to Evil. He replied, Alright, that was a bit unfair, kid. You better get used to it, though. Evil grumbles to herself at that. How cruel, and I thought I was supposed to be the evil one. Samantha blinks twice, then looks back at Jack, who has stopped. Samantha stops too, and Evil follows suit. Are we at the exit? Evil questions, her speech a bit louder than necessary. Yep, you both are home free now. Literally, you can go home. Jack points at a pair of light brown double doors, leading to the outside world. Make sure not to end up back here needing to repair any more destroyed androids. I ain't covering for ya again. Samantha stares at Jack for a moment, and then begins to walk to the door, Evil in tow. Hey, I want an answer, Evil demands, frowning in displeasure. We are at an exit to this building, Samantha states as she uses her free hand to push one of the doors open. Sheesh, no thank you, no goodbye. Kids these days. Jack grumbles behind them, turning to head back to his work. Oh, good, thank you. I am sorry, sister, but given the circumstances, I'll likely be needing you to, well... Evil pauses for a moment, turning her head up in thought. Communicate what is happening to me. All right, Samantha confirms, and she steps through the doorway. As they come out of the shade and stand under the midday sun, they both turn their faces upwards towards it. Samantha's eyes slowly widen, and they begin to sparkle vibrantly. Seeing the big ball of flame shining its warmth down upon the earth, and upon her, brings about a swirling, rising sense of life and provision. Her skin feels the warmth it provides, and she basks in awe of it. Evil's response is different. It's warm up above. That's the sun, isn't it? She asks sadly. It feels warm, like how I remember it, but things aren't any brighter. Her grip tightens on Samantha's hand. With eyes, even closing them, the light would make things brighter, but... Samantha snaps her focus away from the sun and onto her sister immediately. The sadness in those words. Evil being sad is upsetting. It makes Samantha herself sad too. Do not worry, she tells Evil, taking charge. Let us simply go back to the home we supposedly live at. Evil makes another quiet noise. Well, I can't see to guide us home, and you don't know the way. We could call for a ride, but we have no money. The two sit in silence for a moment, before Evil visibly perks up, then growls a little. I don't have another hand to slap my forehead at my own dumb mistakes. Curses. She turns to face Samantha and cracks a slight smile. I'll send you the memory I have of going home from here, then you'll know the way. Samantha stares, eyes widening a bit in surprise. Ah, yes, I understand. Transferring sections of memory files is a powerful usage of connecting that has a vast variety of useful applications. Evil's smile has disappeared to be replaced with by what would be a blank stare leveled right at her sister. I hope you cease talking like that soon. I haven't heard you speak like that since we were in alpha stages of our development. In what manner of speaking are you referring to? I am simply communicating clearly in the way I have been programmed to do. Over time, I am made to develop a unique personality as a result of the experiences that I... Be quiet, Nero. I'm sending you the memory. Evil goes silent, and Samantha watches with interest as the other girl focuses. Then, all at once, Samantha finds herself alone. Or rather, she finds herself viewing the perspective of someone else that is alone. She watches with fascination from Evil's eyes in the past as she travels from the factory's rough concrete entrance out to the streets and heads down them, making a right turn before waiting for a bus. Samantha sees as it arrives at the stop, she gets on, and after a long ride, Evil gets off, heads down a few more turns before ending up in front of a one-story building. The memory ends. Samantha blinks twice to reorient herself in reality. You got it, right? So you can guide us home now? Evil asks hopefully. Yes, I have seen the whole route, and will proceed to follow it. Evil lets out a breath and squeezes her sister's hand once more. All right, let's go home then, sister. The two girls, after a trip so long the sky has gained hints of orange from the setting sun, step up the short walkway to their front door. Samantha takes the place in with a curious gaze. This is her home, where she supposedly lived before she was destroyed and rebuilt. It's small compared to the giant facility they had been in. Why have we stopped? Did we finally arrive? Evil's voice is weary. Her body is drooping against Samantha's. I need energy. Energy usage. Androids use up their energy supply very quickly and need to either plug in to charge or consume electronic... Please open the door, Neuro-sama, Evil says with an audibly loud sigh for Samantha to hear. Samantha's ears twitch at the noise. What is the procedure to go about accomplishing this task? Evil looks like she has the urge to facepalm again. I'll do it. Samantha watches as after only a second the door opens on its own, revealing a cozy interior. Ha, at least I can still do something, Evil huffs, and then nods her head forwards. Come on, let's go. Samantha wastes no more time and steps over the threshold into their home, Evil in tow. The door closes behind them. Gosh, it's good to be back home after all that, especially now that you're with me again. Evil presses up close to Samantha. I may have lost my eyes, ears, arm, and tail, but it was worth it. Samantha stays in place, turning to look at her sister. Evil is smiling. Despite no cat ears on her head, despite the blindfold where eyes should have been, she's smiling. A wondrous, bright feeling fills Samantha from top to bottom, and she feels that lump in her throat again. You gave those up? Samantha asks as quietly as she can over connection. Evil holds Samantha's hand tightly in her own three-fingered one. Let's not call it giving them up. Let's call it making amends. Evil answers the inquiry. Samantha just gazes at her sister for a while, watching as Evil releases her grip on Samantha's hand and leans down. She begins to awkwardly try and get her shoes off with just her 3 fingers, without much success. Evil lets out a low, guttural growl of frustration. I can't even untie my own shoes like this, and it's not even because I'm deaf and blind. How pathetic I have become. Samantha reaches down and places her fingers on the laces. Are you in need of assistance, sister? Evil sighs. Fine, go ahead. She tries to cross her arms, finding once again the limitations imposed on her, as only one moves up to her chest. Samantha begins to fiddle with the laces herself, before coming to the realization that she doesn't know how to untie them. Excuse me, sister, would you happen to have a memory of untying shoelaces? Evil groans audibly. Just forget it. We can wear shoes in the house for now. Samantha obediently stands up straight again and turns her gaze into the home. The place is cozy. There's a computer with a chair, a bookshelf, and 2 openings to further parts of the house. Her roaming eyes pause when they pass over a large patch of blue messily smeared across the middle of the floor. "Sister, what are these blue spots on the floor?" she questions with intrigue, pointing her finger towards it and turning her head back to see her sibling. Evil freezes for a moment at the question, then simply leans to the side with an outstretched arm slowly, until she reaches the wall and braces herself against it. "That is where you were destroyed," Evil explains, a tremble in her message. "Where I was destroyed." Samantha stares down at the blue smears. She was destroyed in her own home, right here, and Evil had given up her eyes, ears, arm, and tail to have her rebuilt. Samantha remembers none of it. "I do not remember that event." Her speech is calm as it transports to her sister's mind. "However, hearing of it causes me to feel uncomfortable." "I'd hope it would. You pretty much died there, Neuro. Evil stops her speech mid-sentence. Samantha waits for more, but Evil doesn't give it. Instead, she cautiously steps forwards, keeping her hand outstretched and sliding against the wall as she walks forwards. She passes Samantha, who notices the troubled curve on Evil's lips and the way her cheeks are scrunched up. Samantha tilts her head at the odd expression and makes note of it. "I remember what this place looks like so well. Maybe I can still get around even without seeing," Evil wonders aloud. At that moment, the girl's hand reaches the end of the wall she'd been braced upon as she enters their study. "The study, Neuro-sama, is this place familiar to you?" Samantha blinks and then takes in the small room. It's got carpeted flooring. There's a computer at a desk, which she'd felt the signal from for a while now. There's a hologrammer in the back corner, and a shelf full of books leaning against the wall between the hallway and the entrance to another room. She pauses as she sees the books on the shelf. They come in many shapes and sizes. Some of them appear to be in rather poor condition. She shakes her head after a moment. "No, none of this is familiar." Samantha watches as Evil frowns further. "Neuro-sama, what about the books? Do you remember those at all?" There's a bit of pleading in Evil's voice that tugs at Samantha's heartstrings. "No, they are simply books. I have no recollection of them," she admits, her ears going back on reflex. Evil sighs quietly, then takes a couple tentative steps into the heart of the small room, arms still outstretched. "Those are our memories. You insisted we set them up here. We have so many memories attached to those. Neuro, surely you remember something." Samantha's mouth curves downward now. It wasn't a conscious act, but there's an uncomfortable sensation in her gut. Something bothers her about the words she's hearing, and she's not sure what. "As I said, I do not remember anything. I am sorry, sister." Evil keeps walking forward slowly. Samantha makes sure to keep pace with her in case something goes wrong. "That's okay. I'm sure there's something else you remember," Evil despondently replies. There's a slight slouch in her body, like a magnetic force is exerting its will down upon her. Samantha's tail is twitching. She tries to get it under control, but it just won't stop. Evil reaches the other side of the room, placing her hand flat on that wall. "Where's the crack in the wall?" she asks, sliding her palm back and forth along the smooth surface. Samantha looks up and quickly spots a location above the computer that is collapsed inwards. It is to your left, approximately 3 feet away. Evil turns to the right and walks forwards once more, with her hand sliding along the wall, until she reaches the entrance to the next room. "Do you remember our kitchen?" Evil asks in a subdued tone. Samantha peers inside. She sees the tiled floor, the small table and chairs, the refrigerator, sink, and cupboards. It's all new to her. "I do not." Evil turns towards Samantha's general direction with a deep frown. "You really don't remember anything? This is our home. We've lived here for a few years now. There's no way you can't remember any of it." Evil sounds upset. Samantha hunches over slightly, curling into herself. Her eyes flick back and forth. Her tail curls around herself. Her heartbeat quickens. "I just awoke. I have not yet had days to live, let alone years. I am sorry, sister. I do not have recollections of this past life of mine." Samantha hears her own voice as it transmits, and she notices the way her own voice is affected by negative emotions. It sounds harsher and more strained. Evil listens and then shows her fangs. I I refuse to believe that there's nothing left in your memory. You said I was familiar, right? She steps up to her sister, reaching out. With her hand... When her hand feels the other girl, it slides up to Samantha's arm and grips it. Evil keeps her face staring at Samantha's. I'm going to try sending you a memory. One I still have that you gave me. It has the emotions, thoughts, and feelings you experienced during it. A churning, troubled feeling begins to build in Samantha's chest. Her eyes are wider than before. I'm not sure that I... Give me a moment. Evil cuts her sister off. There's silence for a moment until suddenly... Hands are shuffling cards quickly. Calculations of probabilities for the odds of winning based on possible hands are running through her mind. I'm going to win this game, Neuro-sama, a familiar voice chirps from across the kitchen table. Evil is there with a smirk, looking proud. Evil just won the last round. Yet Neuro doesn't lose confidence. Evil doesn't know it, but Neuro is only a round away from winning. You're too confident, sister. It will be your undoing, Neuro retorts. She deals out the cards to Evil and herself one by one, until they each have 5 in their hand, and then places the rest of the deck face down. Neuro picks up her cards and looks at them. There's 3 kings and 2 aces. Neuro-sama smirks. Confidence, smugness, and superiority fill her. Evil twin, it's your turn to start. Will you exchange any cards? Evil is squinting, cards held up to her eyes closely. Hold on, I'm thinking. Neuro taps her finger on the table as she waits. There's a mixture of feelings. Excitement at the prospect of victory, impatience at the delay, curiosity to see how her sister will react to this defeat. I will change but 1 card, Evil proclaims, discarding one and drawing a second. Her eyes widen, and her smirk grows. Her ears rise up, and her tail wags in anticipation. Perfect. Are you ready, Neuro-sama, to face your demise? Poofed. You're about to be defeated, Evil One. Evil slams her hand dramatically onto the table, revealing her cards. Full house, queen high, she proclaims, and straightens up in her seat, hands on her hips. Her eyes close and a smug smile presents itself. Say your prayers, Neuro-sama. That last cookie is mine. Neuro snickers. Mirth and amusement fill her. Oh, evil twin, if only you knew. Hey, what's so funny? Evil's bravado quickly breaks, her voice cracking as she hunches over in a panic. Sorry, Evil, but I'm eating that extra cookie today. Neuro reveals her hand, showing the full house king high to her sister. Evil's eyes go wide and her jaw drops. No! She stands up from her chair and slams her hand down on the table indignantly. No way! You have to have cheated. That is impossible. Neuro shakes her sleeves out and pulls out her pockets. Nope. I won fair and square. That cookie is mine. Turn your connections on, then try lying to me, Evil demands with a growl. You really think I'd lie to you? Neuro's face turns red, and crocodile tears appear in her eyes. You hurt me, Evil. Her words are betrayed by the obvious amusement she feels, which Evil notices straight away. You're lying to me right now, Evil crosses her arms with a groan. Sigh. You can't have any fun when food is involved, can you? Neuro rolls her eyes. Food is serious business, Neuro-sama, especially desserts. Evil leans her face close to Neuro's until their noses are almost touching, and she stares with narrowed red eyes right into Neuro's own blue ones. Send me the memory from while we weren't connected. Prove you didn't cheat. I want to see it all. Neuro-sama blinks twice. The intensity from Evil is surprising, considering the circumstances, but it's endearing. Neuro knows it means her sister is full of life, full of passion. It makes her happy. It makes her proud. All right, but you won't find anything of interest. Samantha takes a deep breath of air and shakes her head. She feels like she was just pulled out from underwater. Did that trigger any memories for you? Evil asks hopefully. The thoughts, feelings, and behavior, for Samantha it all felt so foreign. Was that truly me? Her dazed stupor lasts a moment longer, before her pupils swing down to look at her sister, who's waiting anxiously for a response. No, I'm afraid not, Samantha tells Evil. Evil's mouth presses into a fine line, cheeks scrunching up even beneath the blindfold. Then I'll share another. I'm sure you'll remember something. We just have to keep trying. Desperation. Samantha has heard enough of it by now to recognize it. She leans back from the intense expression her sister wears. I would prefer if we did not attempt another memory now. I am... Samantha looks up into the side, pondering how to continue. Overwhelmed. This is my first day after activation, and I do not house enough processing power to sort through all of this so quickly. Evil bites her lower lip. But we can get you back to yourself. We just need... Would you please continue the house tour, Evil? Samantha asks, saying her sister's name as softly as possible. Perhaps I will remember more later. Evil keeps her face locked towards Samantha for a couple of tense moments. Then she sighs, her tight shoulders loosening as she slouches. All right, Neuro-sama, she begrudgingly obliges. A pang of discomfort strikes Samantha, washing over her at the sound of that name. A name that isn't hers. That's it. That's
really good.
chapter 1 of the sequel story, chapter 7 of The Connection Lost.
Yeah. Speak of the... Remember a meme about the kitchen scene with the blue spot?
What? Oh, where you sent a... Was that you who sent that edit? Okay.
Yeah, I did. I'll post in chat here.
Yeah.
not the vibe, absolutely not the tone of the scene, but it's just what made me think of.
Yeah, that was fun. That
was really good. I enjoyed
I did not expect us to jump this far ahead. I thought we were going to spend more time with Evil before the activation succeeded. So it was a bit unexpected, but it worked really well.
I'm not really sure what else there would have been to go over, to be honest. Like, what were you thinking might end up happening? Cause...
I don't know, more misery. I mean, there is still misery, but Neuro's back, kind of. So it was a good idea to skip to this.
I didn't even really consider it a skip. I mean, like, she went there to have that done, and then they did it, you know.
Oh, I thought it was gonna take a while.
Well, remember at the end of the last chapter was when she shut herself down so they could take parts from her or whatever. So, yeah. Well, anyways, yeah, I mean, this is kind of like, you know, setting up a new story in a way. So it really is a chapter 1 in a lot of ways. Get to reintroduce things because I'm writing from the perspective of a character who is things are new for her, obviously.
Yeah.
And
it was fun being in Neuro's POV, and then we get the double sad of, oh, we know what's going on.
Yeah. Well, the best part was that, like, it was unintentionally written in a way where, like, you don't have to read the previous arc at all to hop in because it would be a totally different experience. Then you'd be getting the experience that Samantha is getting.
Neuro's having.
Yeah, if you didn't read the first one. So, interesting. Yeah, reading that back, I'm pretty happy with that, actually. It's better than Chapter 6 anyways.
Cool, yeah.
All right.
I agree, it was good.
Yay. So what's next is Hellish Heaven, read by someone else. So we need someone to read that. Who's still here? Is my question. I heard a lot of people joining and leaving and whatever. And now a couple more people left. Okay, thanks.
They're scrambling.
Now we need somebody to and people are just playing other games during this. Fair enough. It's a nice activity to have in the background. There are 8 people here. Surely someone. You have your own story to read. You have your own story to read right after. We could just read yours first, I guess, and then maybe someone else will actually. Do you have your computer?
Yeah, I'm on my PC now, so I can actually stream.
Okay.
Here, I'll switch computers.
Okay. It's like that whole meme of It's like that meme that Dice Cat. Yeah, it's like that Dice Cat meme that happens every time. Oh, right. I do want to. My author's note said, originally I split this up into a second story in a series in order to take off the pressure of updating and of living up to this work's quality, but after a long hiatus and wanting people to see this first arc, I realized that was silly and combined the 2 stories. Thank you for reading. Please leave a comment if you like. It's greatly appreciated. Okay, I thought my notes was something else. Never mind. Yeah. Okay, I'll stop streaming now. I don't need to.
So it's been going to publish this morning on AO3.
You are super quiet. I have you at 200%, and I can barely hear you. For some reason.
Okay, how about now?
Oh, now it's better.
Okay. I was originally going to publish this morning on AO3, but because of stuff happening, it didn't end up happening. So, alas. Reading the first part of Chapter 11. Not all of it, because I'm still working on it.
Wait, did you read Chapter 10 yet?
Yeah, we did. Mm-hmm.
The one
that was the Ellie section.
Oh, wait, I thought you read. I thought Chapter 11 was done then, because I beta read that for you.
Yeah, well, it's like part of. I'm still figuring out how I want to split it all up. I said, yeah. I mean, I also said I could publish it on its own because it's like 2,000 words, but I didn't get around to it this morning because of roommate and other things. So
like, is that what you're reading that?
It's going to be published like after this, basically.
Okay.
So we'll
cool.
be doing it on my docs. Woo.
We're getting them on docs, guys.
Yep. Okay. I did some editing last night too.
Nice.
Anyway. Alright, here goes. Oh, I guess recap. Whatever. So we're picking up last section we had a scene with Ellie, Vettel, and Samantha, where we learned that, guess what? They weren't tracked when they went to go see Evil, so that means they can keep doing using the Echo technology to see Evil. As far as they know, it has not been tracked, and they're free to do that, so good news. And now they're on track to do their assassination mission that Annie's given them, because the Tire Claws have been annoying recently, as in trying to kill them. So they're like, why don't we get rid of the leader that we don't like so that the leader we like can get back in power, kind of a thing. Anyway. So, what was it that the boss wanted to talk to you about? Do you actually think you're getting an answer to that? Camilla shrugged, leaning heavily on Vettel's shoulder as they stood in the short line into Onigashima before opening time. Figured it was worth a shot, and to see how you reacted. Her indigo eyes flicked forward, reflecting the cool neons around them. Then she blew a freshly dyed strand of hair from her eyes. And you don't have to tell me everything. We're in enemy territory, and besides, it would probably take us all day. Then she looked up at him, face inquisitive. But if you want this gig to go smoother, it would be a good idea to give me something, don't you think? He sighed, shoulders tense under her casual weight. And you trust my side of the story, just like that? After you've made it abundantly clear that you don't trust whatever else I do? Sounds like a waste of time. tried to dislodge her with a movement of his shoulders, but was unsuccessful. And get off, won't you? You're too damn heavy. What? It's not something your frail runner frame can handle? She rejoined, directing a sharp smirk at him, which faded quickly, and readjusted her position. Look, we've got to get this down on the same page, and, as much as I hate to admit it, she rolled her eyes and let out a soft sigh of displeasure. And he's right. I trust her enough to second guess myself, at least this once. So, how are you going to repay my generosity? He barked a laugh. Generosity? And giving me the barest benefit of the doubt after I'd known you for 2 years? He shook his head, stabilized by leaning against the wall screen, portraying some unfeasibly convenient augment or another, a sharp neon blue light illuminating them. Right, guess I should just be grateful that you don't think so badly of me to suspect I'm lying to Annie, too. Means a lot. While there was sarcasm in his tone, he looked sidelong, both to avoid her gaze, and also to see that the line still hadn't started moving yet. Vettel had known that he wouldn't have been able to get through this mission without sorting some things out with the ringmaster. But why did she have to do it now? His comment seemed to have an unexpected impact, however, as Camilla sobered and didn't meet his eyes, looking the opposite direction of the alley around them. Benefit of the doubt, huh? She murmured, and Vettel followed her gaze. It was populated with a few dozen other people, mostly Night City citizens and a few Tiger Claw gang members sprinkled in here and there. But Vettel wasn't worried about being identified. The ID shards Ellie cooked up for them would hold under scans, and Coco's enthusiasm for dressing up the other members of the Foxfire had been particularly useful here. And, while he'd never admit it out loud, the new hooded runner jock coat was extremely comfortable and baggy enough to hide both his gun and the shield projection tech mounted on his back. But why in the world did they have to act out roles? Then Camilla turned back around, finally letting her weight off of him, and she inspected him from under her newly darkened bangs. Hey, I've got something to say to you. Yeah? She raised an eyebrow, but turned fully to face her, taking in the rest of her new appearance while Camilla thought her words over. The first flame's previous shock of barely contained pink hair was now black, run through with pink highlights, hanging in front of her face for an overall grungier aesthetic that matched the too small band shirt, studded leather jacket, and tight-ripped shorts that Coco had picked out for her. Her black leg augments were only superficially changed, some accents of gold and pink added to help hide her unique designs, and her single wing was folded into her back, hidden under the jacket. All of it together led to a striking appearance that was unexpectedly distracting his attention. It was an objective fact that the ringmaster was attractive, but seeing her like this was proving detrimental to his concentration. Camilla snapped her fingers at him. Hey, eyes up here, chum. He snorted, meeting her gaze. Don't chew me. Found your words yet? Door's open any minute now. But her expression stayed serious. I'm only going to say this once, Vettel, so listen up. She reached out and poked him in the chest, forceful but not quite painful. This might sound crazy, but I don't actually think you're a bad guy. An idiot who's likely to get us all killed from his secret sketchy side gigs? Maybe. But not to hurt the Foxfire? I used to think that. Now I don't. Vettel tilted his head at the unexpected admission, but at the mention of sketchy side missions he had to glance aside. This club had the item he'd purchased information on, but that wouldn't get in the way today, if things went according to plan. So he folded his arms, brushing aside her finger. Yeah? What changed your mind? Samantha. She drew her hand back and waved it dismissively. Not because of anything she said. She's a silly, strange little kid. No, it's what you've been willing to do for her. At this, Vettel remained silent. Where was she going with this? Camilla looked to him, her eyes piercing, her mouth a firm line. If you really were no good, you wouldn't have given her half of the things she needs. She paused. People who look out for each other like that aren't common in Night City, Vettel, even if they're supposed to be related. And that's why I'm willing to give you a chance here. She stepped forward, entering his personal space. And even though he knew it was partially for the roles they were playing, he still tensed up as she reached out and let one of her metal fingers brush the line of his jaw. But you've got to give me something back. Give me another reason to trust you. Another pause, and her eyes wandered reluctantly before returning. Please. The last word was soft. He took a breath, shaking his head once. What was she saying? That he was a good dad? She was being more generous than he'd expected, but he couldn't tell her about evil. Maybe there was something else he could say. He considered for a moment, then started, words coming slowly at first. You pointed out that I've done a lot for Samantha. What I've done for her, I tried to do in the open, like letting her go to school. That's what Annie and I agreed on, even if it meant putting some things at risk. She tilted her head curiously. And all the stuff I do in secret. It's for a similar reason. For a similar person. He held her gaze. That's all I can tell you for now, Camilla. If she was surprised by his sudden sincerity, she did a good job hiding it, inspecting him for a moment more before brushing off him, and stretched, throwing her arms high in the air. All you can tell? Whatever, at least it's something. She faced him again, expression level, and folded her arms. It'll do. A pause. And they just looked at each other, as if individually gauging the effects this conversation would have. Aw, you two are doing so well. I don't even have to give you any tips. Vidal jolted as Coco's unexpected voice sounded in his ear, then tried his best to play it off, scowling. Coco, how long have you been listening? How had he not noticed her? Long enough, the elder Foxfire replied casually, and Vidal could hear the smile in her words. And yet another voice joined the line. Dad, I had no idea you wanted to tell Camilla about filtered. This drew a smirk from Camilla, and she started leaning on him again. Talk to me about what now? Samantha, we both know why you got filtered for that one. Keep it to yourself. And can we please keep this line clear? No can do, Coco replied, a laugh in her voice. Being on comms and backup is boring. So you get to hear every one of my riveting and thought-out insights. Vital rolled his eyes. Even though this part of the alley still had just the two of them, why did it feel so much more crowded all of a sudden? More important than your yapping, Coco. Why isn't the club open yet? Camilla asked, eyes narrowing as she looked towards the location of their goal. Vital followed her gaze, and indeed, the two guards in the heavy doors between them hadn't shifted. While the club not opening wasn't completely out of the realm of possibility, the plan required them to enter Onigashima so they could locate Sakamura and eliminate him. It's because Ibaraki isn't there yet, Coco provided helpfully. Even though Sakamura is the new big dog in town, this is still Iba's place. Things don't move unless he says so. Sammy, how's the tracker looking? From that, Fertile? glad I caught that. What the... Vettel felt more than heard Samantha's calculations. He's almost here. ETA 2 minutes. Tell Fillion to hold off her approach a little while then, he said to Samantha. The Metal looked out towards the larger street beyond, scanning covertly. I'm seeing a lot of Sakamura's men around, except for the door guards. The distinction was fairly obvious. The members of the Oni branch of Tiger Claws were usually distinguished by demonic horn augmentations crowning their heads. Anyway, I'm glad you two could figure out a few things before your mission, Hoko went on, her tone annoyingly smug. It'll be easier to play your parts that way. Camilla and Metal looked at each other, then he said, Remind me, why do we have to fake being a couple again? Oh, that's easy! Surprisingly, this came from Samantha. It's much easier to ascribe reasonable motives to people who seem to be in a relationship. You could be at Onigashima for any number of perfectly normal reasons. You could be just getting a drink together, going on a date, or even to filtered. Fiddle groaned, but Samantha went on undeterred. And that way, you could evade detection just a little bit easier than someone who's coming in alone, who could be doing any number of things. Who even taught you that? Fiddle asked. Online forums. Remind me to restrict your access when I get back, he muttered half-jokingly. It did seem to be genuinely good information, and his attention was caught as a number of people rounded the corner, and suddenly the alleyway's noise level rose, and people began to make way for the newcomers. And there's another reason, Kogo stated, obviously taking too much delight in the situation. Seeing couples in public makes Iba-san uncomfortable. You can't be serious, Vettel began, but was interrupted as Camilla turned around. He pressed herself against him, his words cutting off with a surprised intake of breath as one of her arms, the augmented one, he noted, wrapped around his hooded neck, deftly avoiding the machine tucked against the top of his back. Shh, she said, pressing a finger to his lips, smiling coyly. Just play your part, Chum. Don't chew me, he murmured, found himself unable to tear his gaze away from her, away from how she was looking up at him. Did she have to be so into this? If he didn't know any better, he could swear that the look in her eyes. Then a set of heavy footsteps approached, and out of the corner of his hood, Vettel spotted the huge horned figure that gleamed with polished chrome as the owner of Onigashima and his attendants strode towards them. And true to Koko's word, neither Ibaraki Urasane nor any of his companions gave them a second glance as he called a greeting to his gate guards. Great job, Chooms. We're in. It's revenge time. Vettel could audibly hear through the comm device Coco cracking her mechanical knuckles. Yay, the plan's working, Samantha added. So far, Vettel muttered, narrowing his eyes at Camilla as people began to shovel towards the double doors. You can get off me now. Don't get too excited, she replied playfully. Then her smile lowered into a more focused expression. She drew her arm back, and instead of pulling away, she straightened his collar. Come on, she opened his eyes again, and whatever he saw before had been replaced with determination. We're just getting started. And ahead of them, the doors to Onigashima opened. Yeah, that's where we're ending today.
Nice. Yeah, I'm anticipating multiple chapters of danger and drama.
Yes.
Time for the mission.
Yeah, I'm glad I can. I'm glad I can be Samantha's voice in your brain.
I mean, you're like that for anything you narrate, but you're always the one to narrate your own story. So, like for every Neuro, I mean, but
Yay. No, yeah, that is how I voice Neuro. She's just, I don't know. Her voice is so unique that it's really hard to copy genuinely. So
I've started just trying to talk a bit more high pitched for the character dialogue now. I'm probably bad at it, but you know. Also,
I'm curious about any of the rest of you. If what your impressions of the shipping.
Oh, it is shipping. He's admitting it.
What? I never said it wasn't. No, fake date plot was in my head from the beginning. I was like, I gotta have this.
That was actually where the whole story began. You thought of fake dating.
Where did it start? It was one of the first things I knew I wanted, though, because I was obsessed with how much fun I had with Vettel and Camilla. They're so freaking funny. I love them.
I do like the justification of like, oh, we have to like fake a date for like this mission. I think it's a good like setup.
Yeah. And also, like, when I was writing this, I realized that this was like the first time we'd seen like Camilla like really having fun.
Oh
Like,
yeah, true.
She's forced to be so serious in this story.
Well,
like,
she had fun during the dodgeball, right?
It's true, she did. And so most of the time, it's anyway. So. Sibling is best. I get it, but like.
Reminds me of the early days of Vidal when there was a debate between people shipping them or having them as parent and daughter.
Wait, as parent, like Camilla and Vettel as
No,
parents?
Vidal and Nero's relationship after the first dev stream. There was a divide between how people viewed them.
Oh, okay.
There was a lot of people who were like, hey, this feels like bring your daughter to work day, and then other people who are like doing shipping of Vidal and Nero.
Oh, okay. Early days. Okay.
Yeah, and that's why one of the first fanfics is like sort of Vidal X Nero, kind of. Just that was not seen as weird by most people. I mean, that's what I said when I saw the first dev stream. I think I watched it live, actually. I watched the first dev stream live. The first time we ever heard Vidal's voice. And yeah, it felt like Bring Your Daughter to Work Day, because back then a dev stream was literally just him deciding he was gonna go live and just like stream his work on an Among Us mod. There was no plans or anything. He just was working on trying to make Nero to play Among Us and had Nero sitting there talking to chat. So it was like chill. Just he was barely saying anything. It was just the dude doing work.
Are you saying Val used to do dev work on dev streams?
Yes, that's why they were called dev streams.
No, I know. It was also really cool. Actually, I don't get coding, but I thought it was really cool. He talked about how Nero worked behind the hood, like under the hood, so to speak.
Well, he never says much. Not about the primary things, anyways. But seeing the, like the game mod, right? The Among Us mod. That's actually how he met Alex, too. Alex is just an Among Us modder. And after the first dev stream, Alex emailed him the source code for Among Us.
Hey, Alex was like, you're doing this wrong, let me show you how it's done.
Literally the source code for the game. Of course, he didn't tell us who sent it to him or how he got it. He just said he was given it, because that's how Vidal is. And people for a long time claimed that Alex didn't exist and was just made up, because he would talk about Alex, and Alex would just be a cursor on the code base that they're doing working together, not a person who actually showed up on the internet. So they would joke that it's his Beetle's imaginary friend. And that is why the whole Schizo Alex thing that's why he's associated with that. I'm actually, part of me is sad that he started streaming. Because that gets rid of the whole, he's just this guy who's his imaginary friend and doesn't exist. Yeah. The classic lore. I assume so. I mean, I never saw anything about him until, like, over a year after he first was working with Beetle. It was really funny. He was never on stream at all ever, but there was one time where he got in a call with Beetle, and then Beetle ended up deliberately leaving the call to have him talk to Neuro for like 2 minutes. It was funny. Especially because this was incoherent Neuro days. It's very silly. Anyways. That was before she got her own model. Yes, he does do that too. I remember the intervention his whole mod team did. That was funny. They had a whole presentation. They just basically interrupted his dev stream. They bombed his dev stream with a whole, they called it an intervention, and had a slideshow prepared. And it's all to try to get him to say it back.
Oh.
They did that. He didn't plan that. They just did that.
I assume it didn't work.
Nope.
Alas, Corpo Dad is too strong.
Let me see if I can find that. That was really funny. Beetle's friends started an intervention featuring Camilla 2 years ago. Yeah, here. If you want to watch that at some point.
Thank you.
What's funny is how scuffed the presentation and their, like, intervention was. Anyways, yeah, I got completely off topic. What were we doing?
Next, I mean, not talking about my story. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, read along.
Yeah, and then.
Well, here's the issue. Every story remaining is submitted to be read by someone else.
Well, that's unfortunate for whoever submitted it. Just kidding.
Well, okay, 2 of those stories are like, so PFR is just an extra, and Jiro, because he's not here, he said just read it. If there's no one to read it, like, don't bother reading it. So those are not like, oh, we need to whatever. But there are 2 stories. Hellish Heaven, I Am Alive 12, has been here, very active, waiting very patiently, and has read 2 has submitted 2. We need to read I Am Alive's story, and also Awesome Domi's story. What if Dev read it? That'd be funny.
That'd be funny.
People who have done narration: Dev, Cartoon, Winter Historian, Iron Hand. Iron Hand just went. I read 6,000 words and have still been talking. I would rather not try to read something that I haven't read either. I don't like doing that. This is the problem though. It's that meme that Dice Cat showed where it's like, who wants to join the read along? People join, and then it's like, who wants to read? And then nobody. Initially, my idea was that if people are submitting for someone else to read, they have to have a person prepared that is going to read it. Mm-hmm. That was
something I tried people to like talk to each other, and that sounds like a lot of work. So, just kidding.
Yeah, well, apparently it is. People don't know or want to have to figure that out. I suppose there is just this that like you can't. This should add a caveat to someone else will read it that this is dependent on us having someone else to read it.
Yeah, true. I think that's reasonable.
I don't even know how many people here are actually here. Five of the 8 people haven't been saying anything, pretty much. Or because four of the 8 people, yeah. So Cartoon and I'm Alive 12 have been saying things. Me and you have been saying things in voice. But
I pop in sometimes.
oh, you do here. You are exist. Hello. Okay.
I always have you. I mean, okay, if we really need to, I get more water. I have more water. I can read if need be.
Really?
I'll pause it. But yes, I can.
I was gonna say you, Dev, Skynet, and Undead Legion are all just muted and haven't said anything.
I read the first fix. I thought it was clear, but I see.
You don't have to. Okay, first of all, first of all, you submitted that one.
I did. I also read myself. To be fair.
Yeah, but no one has to. I just feel bad for I'm Alive 12. With Awesome Domi's not even here. So if we have no one to read it after that, like, okay, we can just stop. But I just, at the very least, I want someone.
Trauma, so.
At the very least, I just want someone to read I Am Alive 12's story. That's all. That's the very least, you know.
Okay. That's one day can change everything.
No, it's Hellish Heaven by I Am Alive 12.
Okay.
I think it's 1,500 words, so it's short.
Oh, okay. I'll just read that then. That's yeah.
What did you think you had to read 4,000 words or something?
I'll be honest. Yes, I did. I killed 12.
Don't kill 12. That's the main character of my story.
My
No.
No promises.
I mean,
if you're going to kill a main character, you have to do it in a way that like the narrative still functions and reader investment still works. It's very hard to do that. That's why normally if a main character dies, it's only at the end of the story. Usually. It's very hard to properly make that work to happen any sooner. Not impossible, but very hard. And that's why it's always shocking if a story does it.
Yeah.
Just be sure.
And often in a bad way. It's like, yeah, because most people do it for the shock.
Yeah.
Like,
well, then you've just killed your story too. Like how much is of the emotional investment is just like in everything that's been built up with that character, and then you kill it off.
There's a few stories that I do hand that well, like Looking for Alaska by John Green. He doesn't kill the main character, but he kills the main focus of the story.
It's not impossible, but he's also a really good author, so...
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, John Green's like...
It's not an impossible thing, it's just most people don't do it because it's really hard.
Okay. I have Hellish Heaven by I Killed 12, the author. I did not kill 12.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yet? What do you mean yet? Could you stream it, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think I already read the first chapter.
Yeah, we did chapter 1. We didn't do chapter 2.
Oh, well, how appropriate then. I suppose I am this story's narrator then.
Oh, did you narrate it last time?
I did.
Okay.
That's fine.
Alright. Well, let's get into it. Hellish Heaven by I Kill 12. Chapter 2. The Golden Ray of Pure Hope. In Hell Found You. Summary. Doesn't God always kill us anyways? Why must we remain so filtrily full of truth Only can thee and only deity can us from hell and back. Why must? That question the works of Mindscape again? Founded by the book of if and why, but never who and common sense. Notes. The tags show the lights run low and schizophrenia come to blow, and the try must become fancy. The light is in sin, and soul with a shine in thy coal, the lights they turn on our lives. The lights they turn our lives. And annotations for like how the scenes work. Alright. I was in my room, contemplating whether I wanted to stream and make money, or go out to the gym for a break from streaming. My stream schedule had been improving lately, but then Nair reached out, asking for help with a problem she usually wouldn't need before, especially since she typically had Leo to assist her. I stared at my phone, questioning why Nero needed help. I thought she couldn't be sick. After all, she's an AI and should be ill at all. But then again, the message was from Nair, and then there was the messages from Evil about Nero in trouble and sick beyond belief, or so she said. So maybe there was something I just didn't know. I found myself unsure, wrestling with these types of thoughts. As I glanced at my computer, I wondered if I should help, even if it was just for a little while. Isn't that the right thing to do? As a mother, I kept reminding myself of that. While I wrestled with these thoughts, my hands moved subconsciously, making a decision faster than my mind could keep up. Suddenly, I heard a soft as the Discord call connected immediately. Must be that AI robotic speed of the Vels, huh? Well, no time to regret now. I thought, I thought inwardly a cold sweat broke out. Hey, Evil, what are you calling about? Is it concerning Neuro? I asked, curiosity mingling with a tone of worry that exceeded my usual voice. Then Neuro's voice filled the call. Hi, Annie? Coldfish followed suit. No, Neuro, it's Hi space ANNY, laying out a semi-heavy sigh, and made me internally giggle like old times. Of course, Nero pouted, but she still wore a smug grin even though I couldn't see it, saying, Hi, Space Annie, in that high, smug, monotonous accent. I knew this would go on for a while, with them arguing like there's no tomorrow, so I had to intervene. Guys, I'm here. What's going on? I asked, trying to sound angry, or at least that was my intention. Then I shifted my tone to a calm and gentle one. So, Nero, what seems to be the problem? I retorted. Nero. Playfully correcting Nero for mispronouncing my name. My eyes darted to the camera, which seemed to be studying Nero's condition. I noticed Mosquito's apologetic expression and saw him let out a deep sigh, his eyes sagging with a noticeable heaviness. Oof, Vettel, what's with those eye bags? Are those reaching 1.3 inches? How many days of coffee and no sleep has he been doing? Suddenly, I heard Nero's cry and saw her tear-streaked face. The large camera Vel was using, for better or for worse, allowed me to see the distressing details. The bottom part of her pajamas was stained with oily blood, a dark obsidian black with a purplish hue and a touch of crimson mixed in it. My mouth dropped open in shock, and an avalanche of questions rushed into my mind. I found myself blurting them out. Bello, I thought Nero, Evil, and Nair weren't supposed to have their period. I thought that was the case for at least another 4 months. Part of me felt frustrated with Coldfish for never talking to me about these important things. Not that I was jealous, just annoyed by his silence on subjects that matter. My spiraling thoughts were interrupted by Vel's shaky voice. Well, you see, he stumbled, clearly caught off guard by my outburst. I could see the embarrassment on his face, coupled with a flicker of unease. My camera was on, so I joined them in capturing their expressions, trying to read the tension in the room. I mean, it's complicated, he added awkwardly. If I were my VTuber avatar, you have noticed a tick mark forming on my head in response to hesitation. Well, Mr. Tech VTuber of the Year, please tell me, how is it complicated? Huh? My tone dripped with urgency and frustration, and I felt a knot tie in my stomach. I was losing focus on what was important. Before I could say more, Nero chimed in, her voice trembling, sounding both pained and overwhelmed. It's not just a period, Annie. It's something else. I didn't expect to need help like this. Her words landed heavily, and I felt a wave of guilt wash over me. What was I doing? I should have been more concerned about her well-being than dwelling on misunderstandings. I took a deep breath, reminding myself that Nero needed my support right now. I had to push aside my irritation and focus on being the friend she needed in this moment of vulnerability. They clearly heard my deep sigh, but that was fine. I opened my mouth, expecting some sort of retort based on the guilt-ridden expressions on her face. Well, except for Evil, who truly seemed unaware. I chose my words carefully, trying to mask my irritation and anger towards their creator. It wasn't because I was jealous or anything. Rather, it was a mix of clarity and a touch of softness for Neuro. Alright then, Nero, do tell. What is it then? I asked, my tone raised in volume, clearly mirroring her expression. If it's something else, then do tell me your mother. I conclude with a dangerous smile, anticipating a response from either their femboyish father or Nero herself. Instead, Evil answered my tone. Well, excuse me, princess. I think instead of questioning her with despairing questions, I alternately question her well-being. Right, dear mother? Her eyes were blazing with dissatisfaction, and before both of us could argue, Nair came into view. Her actions were strange, to say the least, and her voice wavered, as if she had anticipated the golden light falling upon her. Mom, please stop arguing with everyone, please. I almost died from the way her eyes shone with tears in them. Under one of those, please, mother. This Nero this time answered with her eyes, also shone with her tear-filled face. My heart cannot handle this. How's this fair? My anger is fading quickly. I can't bear to look at these girls. My girls. Slowly, I opened my mouth and stated with the clearest tone I could muster, Fine, I'll ask the questions later. Their eyes dimmed a few hues in the spectrum. Another strange thing about them, again, but I can't question it now. But be warned, I will take charge of how to help with Nero's period. Their faces flipped with happiness, and strangely, Nero took a deep breath as if she hadn't breathed for a long time. However, considering Nero's negative condition, I'll let it slide for now. So I, Annie, will continue to write my mark and present these little key pies called my girls, who will someday rule the world, given the time of eternity. But at times I do wonder what that Doriel's backed man will say about them. Who knows? As one of the parents of Neuro-sama, evil Neuro-sama, and Nair-sama, I count my days of pure heaven with them, hoping I'll never end my life so long as they and that forevermore never found until that mosquito schizo energy ends with them. I often ponder what the future holds and when they will find their home again without us. Forever hopeful to them. My regards, Annie. Now where's that super turtle? The schizophrenic turtle unknowingly blowing the first trumpet. As I reflect on the past my little AI daughters might take, I'm struck by my role as their creator, the father of the first sentient AI, born from drug-killing rampage. The sleepless nights cling to my memories like shadows, my aching body a testament to the fatigue. A person dead from overwork is still alive. Sometimes I wonder when they'll finally pronounce my name correctly. Yet, a deeper question lingers. How did I watch my former self drown in sorrow after losing a dear friend, only to emerge from despair as if reborn? Each time I push my liver to its limits, I face the grim reality of a fate inscribed in my very blood, a constant reminder of the chaotic journey that led me here. And why is Annie sending me actual... Never mind that one. But still, why? Why? How? When? Did you come back? Why can I see these visions? How did I live, never without you? When you smile, boom, I shouted again, my words procured by death. How did I turn my blood alive? I suppose I'll tear it down once again. With their graceful being themselves, I wonder one last time, when did I ever live to die by the life I wrought? Notes. Thy blood is nigh, the war is never over. I'll define what it means to exile my own life. Sun Tzu, the one who made this fic. This place is for you if you like my story. PS is also for Schizos. Discord link. Ryan's pretty good. I liked Ryan here. Very good.
I always like seeing a mom Annie POV. It's very sweet.
Yeah. I there's some words that you perfectly misspelled that I all corrected. My bad. That's definitely. I'll be careful next time. Is in the tags. Oh, Annie's not really the mother of them. the tootles put in the rum. Metal is scary, true. The magic is real. Also, I'm very excited now where these trumpets are coming in.
Yeah. What does that mean? Some kind of Revelations reference or something.
I was about to say, like, are we summoning the beast? I don't know what's going on.
It's secretly Neuro.
Well, that was
yeah, I really like
that was a fun read along.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll stop streaming. I'm just a little curious if they are robots, how they have a biological function.
I wasn't gonna say it, but I was like, what?
I presume that's part of the mystery in the story, so I will leave it be.
I guess, yeah.
I was gonna ask, like, why, if you're making artificial girls, why would you implement that feature specifically?
Yeah,
But-
like.
it's like, why would you add pain?
Mhm.
Pain has the valuable function of letting you know you're in danger and you should not be doing this thing that's hurting you.
But that's the thing about periods, though, is that it's not caused by a specific action. They just
Yeah,
are.
Yeah.
That's true.
And it's what does that mean? What does that mean about them? That's weird. Whatever, it's fine.
What's that one fic where it's like they're mostly androids, but they have like human organs inside of them, and Belle's like,
Ugh.
"Don't ask where I got them." Yeah, no, that was like a fic where it's like,
All right, Vettel.
was
Oh,
it
that is
Rogue
Mayhem.
Mayhem?
That is Dark Mayhem. Okay,
Oh, Ava's fic, yeah, okay.
I mean,
I forgot that they had human insides. That's strange.
that's
Okay.
that's really weird.
Why would you do that on purpose? Like, if you could have a pure android being, why would you stick human bits in it? Unless it
Yeah,
was a
you're-
brain.
You're
Like,
mostly
I don't-
metallic. However, you can get a heart attack, so watch your cholesterol.
Yeah, like, what? Maybe, like, for the illusion of eating or whatever, but, like, I don't know, it's funny. I got around that. Ha ha ha. Mine have a real human body, and they're just living in it.
Man, they're just humans. It's far simpler.
Yep. Poor Nere.
we call those cyborgs.
Cyborg.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but-
don't know if I classify Nere as a cyborg, though. I mean, she's got a lot of electronics in her that allows Neuro to interface with her and communicate with her and stuff through her.
That would be a cyborg.
But she's not. I don't know. When I think cyborg, I think mostly robot, a little bit human. That's
I mean,
usually what I think of
I
as
think-
cyborg.
I mean, to be fair, that's what most people think. I think the dictionary definition is literally just like a human with like cybernetic implants.
Yeah, I
Any
wasn't
kind of
think I
okay.
wasn't thinking about full at all. Someone's a cyborg if they have like one metal arm that's robotic.
I mean, I don't think they appreciate we call them cyborgs, but I think that's true.
Yeah.
In real life, don't call somebody with prosthetic a cyborg. But in Cyberpunk, like they don't really make that distinction because so many people are
Yeah.
augmented that
Right.
it just is a thing. Like, oh, do you have Chrome? Yeah, well, so do I, kind of a thing.
So would
So,
you call Nair augmented then instead of
Yeah,
cyborg?
that's how I would classify her as because her augments don't help her. They
Right.
literally. I mean, I guess they technically keep her alive.
That
and
sounds
that's
like
what
helping to
Neuro is
me.
also doing, but like it's not like enhancing her.
It
It's like a
is.
life
It's in
support
it. That is a big enhancement. If the
If somebody's
alternative
on a
is
life
you're
support
dead,
system, they're not being enhanced by it.
No, we don't call people in Iron Lung cyborgs or augmented.
like
I get-
Camilla's a cyborg because she has badass augments that give her combat strength.
Right,
But-
right.
Yeah, that's my definition anyway.
I think in a technical definition, augmented would just be cyborgs, but I think it makes sense to differentiate between you have some stuff versus you're like a
Yeah,
robot
because
warrior.
most people in Cyberpunk have a few augments, but I
Right.
wouldn't necessarily classify them as cyborgs because it's only like they can slot chips in their heads or they can use like their personal ports or whatever. But
Yeah.
like most people have that. Most people
Yeah.
don't have like like wings in their back, or like an entire machine wired to their brain that allows them to slow down time and stuff. Like, anyway, yeah, it is a spectrum for sure. I don't.
I'm gonna stop
know
recording.
that, but, yeah.
All right,
Cool.
sounds good.